brick road all the way to the Kansas Speedway here in the beautiful state of Kansas. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Sheldon Atkins, and Austin Derbyshire is behind the production booth as always. And I never would have thought 5 years ago, 10 years ago, that I'd be saying, thank God we are going away from Bristol. But I spent a lot of money at Bristol this last weekend for the absolute worst race I've ever seen in my life. So thank God we are leaving Bristol and we are going to Kansas, of all places. Who would have thought anybody would ever be saying that 5 years ago? But here we are, the next-gen car, one of the few racetracks that it doesn't suck at, Sheldon.
And also, not only did you go to Bristol, but you also wrote the GridVision YouTube channel, URL, and everything on the Bristol wall. So forever, we are associated with the worst NASCAR race at Bristol in history.
You're welcome.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just shut it down. Just pull the stream, Darby.
I ruin everything I touch. It's like the green thumb, but opposite. I've got the black thumb, where whatever I touch, the black plague follows. Unfortunately, I'm just kind of sick, I suppose. I'm just disgusting. I just ruin whatever races I go to. But Sheldon, luckily, I'm not at this race, right? It's online, so hopefully I don't ruin the potential of this fantastic race. What are the keys to making it fantastic here tonight for these drivers out there?
Well, man, you'd have to do a whole lot to ruin this track. But key number one, versatility. So we got progressive banking all the way from the top to the bottom. You're going to see guys at literally every inch of this track. Second of all, man, pit entry. It is such a difficult pit road to get into. The way the banking doesn't fall off on the straightaway, it's like you're hitting a wall trying to get in there. And then last but definitely not least, you're going to see a lot of that old slide job.
Oh, no.
In the night.
That's a little scary there, Sheldon. I didn't know you had that in you. I hope you screamed that during the race tonight.
Oh, it's going to happen at least 12 times.
Got to point out, Brandon said it. I'm 30 minutes from him right now. I'm long gone out of Bristol. I promise you, buddy. I got the hell out of there as soon as the as soon as that race ended, because it was so bad. I was not sticking around, but I appreciate it. I would stop by if I was still there. But we're gonna move on to our broadcast picks. Man, I went so crazy during the pre-race, I've almost forgotten who I picked, but it was Jimmy Mollison, the number 8, one of the few pro guys in here. So I feel like that's a pretty safe and solid pick.
And that is a hard pick to make right there. I'm gonna go with a little bit of an underdog with the level of this. Oh my God, the level of talent in this split. I'm gonna have to go with the 4 machine in here, Patrick Gitter. I feel like he's been cruising to a good finish here. I think tonight might be a good night for him.
I like the Getter pick, and then it looks like Darby has gone with Joseph Squared. So Darby's expecting a tire wear race. It looks like at Kansas. I can kind of see it, right? People run the bottom for a good chunk of laps, saving tire. Maybe if you just stay down on the bottom as long as possible, like I expect Joseph Squared will do from the 4th place position. I could see that pick working out this week, Darby. I like it. We're going to move into the starting grid real quick as qualifying has finished, and we're about 30 seconds into the gridding. Patrick Gitter, your pick up on the pole. So Conti's found a little bit of speed so far this week in the qualifying set. Gonna have to wait to see if they can back it up with the race set, but that's a heck of a qualifying time from Patrick Gitter, beating out Garrett Maines by 0.02 of a second. Nicholas Roman lining up row number 2 with his teammate Joseph Square there in the 4th place spot. Tommy Gossett in 5th, Joseph Gulata lining up in 6th, PB Henry in 7th, Johan Seminario 8th, James Houghton in 9th, with Paul Bergoli rounding out the top 10 tonight, Sheldon.
In 11th place, we got Matt DiCiani with Roger Pierce as outside in 12th. 13th is going to be Thomas Delcourt with Shane Parrish in 14th. 15th is going to be Derek Heitman with Matt Baker in 16th. 17th is Diego Morez, followed by Clayton Hoffman in 18th. 19th is going to be Johnny Ballridge, and then rounding out your top 20 is going to be Randy A. Mullins.
21st place is Devin Medeiros tonight. 22nd, Brendan Meal. 23rd is Anthony Federico with Jacob Schneider, the first of the non-qualifiers, lining up in 26. Jimmy Mollison 25th. Justin Levine, the GridVision owner, there in 26. 27th is Graham Bolin with Adam Benefield in 28. Raul Sareva in 29th with Guilherme Bianchini, rounding out the 30-car field here tonight. So pretty thick field. Pretty robust here tonight for a Open.
Yeah, 30 cars in an A Open. That's almost NIS numbers. So this could be very interesting, really early on here.
When we saw in the spring race, a couple guys would go to the top immediately and pick up 20 spots, literally 20. But after 20 or 25 laps, they would lose every single spot that they got. So do you risk the tires early? Do you save them for that potential long run? What kind of race do you think we're going to have tonight? That's the answer that the drivers behind the wheel are going to have to figure out here tonight. Play their strategy the right way to be able to come home in victory lane. Patrick Gitter up on the pole. Into the gas pedal. The green flag is flying, and we're racing from Kansas.
Looks like May's got a better launch on the outside. Going to get a nose out on Patrick Gitter coming in turn 1, but they're going to be dead even as they enter the corner. Gitter's really going to make that bottom line stick, though. But not so fast, man. Maine's fighting in pretty strong up there on the outside line. He's going to clear him coming down the back straightaway.
Well, just about. Gitter did have the side draft before they got down into turn number 3. Kind of stalled the momentum from the 12, so they're still going to be side by side through 3 and 4. Patrick Gitter way down on the inside. But coming out of the outside of turn number 4, Garrett Maines is going to have the momentum, I thought. But he's not going to get clear. Gitter still has the side draft as we come across the start-finish line. Still trying to get clear for the race lead.
Man, it looks like we're back in Atlanta a couple weeks ago. The way they're all packed together right now.
Ooh, Maine's a little tight out of turn 2. He's going to get a shove from his teammate, though. Joseph Square there to give him the run when he didn't have it. That's going to get Garrett Maines clear to the race lead. Still committed to that high side line. Didn't want to just sweep over across the nose of the 21 on lap number 2 coming down to turn 3. But Garrett Maines with the momentum out of the corner. He's going to take the lead, and Joseph's going to go up to second. Typically a guy that we see fall towards the middle of the pack, saving tires at the beginning. He's gotten himself up to second, up to a decent clean air running order or running position, and has gotten himself in a pretty good spot here in the early going. Not typically what you see from Joseph.
Yeah, and that is what you saw there with Gitter. That is what the problem is here on these, especially here at Kansas. This is a top-line dominant track for the short run. It is such a disadvantage starting on the bottom because the initial start, you have to go on green. You can't just jump it like we would any other. Oh, a little bit of contact between the 20 machine and the 98.
Yeah, Galata thought he might have been cleared. Just not quite clear, but just a little bit of contact. Nothing to really write home about. Coming down the front straightaway, taking lap number 4. But Galata's looking quick. He's looking to take that race lead as soon as possible. Shoving Garrett Maines down the back straightaway. Not even peeking out, trying to take the lead. Just pushing him faster than he wants to go. Down into turn number 3. Trying to make Garrett use up those tires a little bit as we come out of the corner. Galata not really with a head of steam here, but he's got that draft all the way down the front straightaway. Does he make a move into 1?
Well, I think with how tight we saw Galata get there in 3 and 4, I really think that he's already keeping the throws of burning off these tires only 5 laps into this thing. You saw how tight he got in the dirty air. Maines, see him get a good run up to the back bumper, though, coming out of turn number 2. Going to push him,
got the run. Yeah, he does the same thing lap after lap. This time, though, kind of ducking down to the bottom of turn 3. He's trying to shallow up the entry, but Clayton Hoffman has gone from 5th to 2nd in about a lap. Clayton Hoffman to the outside of turn number 4. He's going to rocket himself up to 2nd.
Hoffman working that outside line, trying to find a way past Galata right now. Going to use that momentum here in 1 and 2 to try and build a charge to get by him. Honestly, he's got such a good run. I think he can cross over Maines if he really tries to, but going to stay in line behind him. No, here he comes, looking down to the bottom.
He had the run. He's got the side draft, sucking Garrett Maines back there, wrecking further back in the pack, way towards the back. Somebody noses it into the inside wall. I count 2, 3, 4 cars involved down the back straightaway. And we're under the first yellow of the night. I'm not sure who was in the race lead when the yellow came out. It looks like it's Hoffman.
Hoffman had just barely got his nose there when the yellow came.
Trying to get a look back to see exactly who all is involved in this one. Looking at Anthony Federico, tons of damage on the front end of his car. They're 4 wide coming through 1 and 2 back further in the pack. And, oh, man, the 8 gets him to the back of the 66. And it's just a big wreck after that. A couple cars went spinning down to the inside wall. That's where Federico found himself, as we're going to get another replay.
One of those moments where you look at how many laps are on the board and you wonder, why are we going 4 wide this far in the back of the pack? Big slide. Oh, hard hit for the 7 machine.
The 15 honestly got saved by Federico being down there with him. But those are one of the rare hits in the next-gen car that will basically put you out of contention, right? It doesn't happen very often with how sturdy these things are, but that's a killed race car. That's a killed race car.
There was nothing Federico could have done there either. He just, paying attention to the 15 machine in front of him. Next thing he knows, they're all spinning. No time to react.
Yeah, and you mentioned, the 4 wide earlier. I agree with you. Mostly because there's no iRacing spotter for 4 wide, which I still think. Come on, give me the 4 wide call, please. So you just don't know, right? If you're in a 2 or 3 wide situation and 2 people split you, you're not gonna know. A lot of the times, the visibility is so small, especially if you're on a single monitor. If you don't have that 4 wide call, you don't know. So why would you do it this early? But also, if you see 4 wide in front of you like the 8 did, maybe don't hit the guy in the back bumper.
I'll
I think
tell
that
you.
might have been was that Jimmy Mullis that actually got the back bumper of him?
I'll tell you what, there was one guy in that situation that, saw it was 3 wide and decided to make it 4. It's like a 24 machine up on the top.
That's fair. And the 66 just got really tight in front of Mullis. So to be fair, he
Yeah.
got out of the gas and Mullis is on the gas. So, I mean, you don't expect them to lift right in front of you like that. So I'm going to kind of remove some of that blame that I put on Jimmy a second ago. But I'd have to agree with you, right? Was it the 34 at the top that made
24.
it 4 wide?
It was the 24 that sent it up there. And, like, I get, you got a good run, but, I mean, man, it's lap 7. We're far in the back of the pack. Ballridge had to make a dicey last-second maneuver to try and keep from stuffing that guy into the fence because he went to the outside where, Johnny was trying to be. And then next thing you know, they're all around.
I was talking about in the early going, right? Before this race started, I said in the spring, people were coming from 20th, 25th, going up to the race lead. And after that, 25 laps into the run, they would be so terrible. So terrible. It would go straight to the back. I'm worried about Clayton Hoffman partially because he came from 18th and he is leading this race after it was 6 laps, I believe. So obviously he's burnt up his stuff a little bit more than these guys, but they've got the heat cycle to cool these tires off. And well, iRacing has simulated the racing really well so far for the next gen car at a lot of places, the dirty air and whatnot. So if they mimic what the tires do in real life, it's really not about tire wear anymore. It's about overheating them. So maybe this gives Hoffman an opportunity to cool those tires back down, and he'll get a little bit more pace put back into that car.
Yeah, that was exactly what I was gonna say too. Think he's in a good spot right here, a good position. Got a lot of track position early. It gets so hard to pass people here at Kansas. You got all these options, but all those options are fast, so it's so hard to get by somebody, especially if they go to the top and defend. But also that fall off, I'm expecting to see that a little bit sooner here this week since we're racing, in the sunlight instead of at night like we were earlier in the year.
Well, we expected fall off at Bristol because it was hotter in the summer race than the spring race, but the spring race is the one that had fall off. So what should we expect? We don't really know, to be honest. But Hoffman back into the restart zone and back to the gas pedal. First restart of the night where the leader actually controls the restart of the race. So he's going to easily jump out to the race lead. I mean, completely clears himself from the guys behind by 2, 3, 4 car lengths. And now they're side by side for second. Garrett Main's on the outside. Gulata down on the inside.
Yeah, tight packs of racing. You're going to see that all night here. Oh, big dive down to the bottom for, I want to say that was Roman. Yes, it was. Going to put him 3 wide with Gitter and Joseph squared into 3 and 4.
Gitter kind of holding them narrow, not washing out of the corner. Roman's just going to have to concede the position for now. Gitter's still in that side-by-side battle with Joseph squared, but it looks like Joseph has cleared himself from Gitter, but then they come down to turn number 1. Gitter gets right back to that left rear quarter panel as Garrett Main's way up the racetrack, kind of running a little bit higher than I expected in the early going and doesn't get the run off the corner that you would expect from running that high, but Gulata did on the bottom, and he's looking for the race lead now. Just about got to the back bumper of Hoffman before we got down into turn 3. But Hoffman's going to just drive it in deeper, take the clean air advantage, and try to run away from this pack behind him.
Yeah, Hoffman looking good right now. Gulata, kind of surprising. Haven't talked about him much this year. Looking very strong early in this race. Kansas isn't one of those, fluke tracks. You got to have the whole package to be fast here. So we're going to see, what he has when it comes down to the long run pace. But so far in the short run, man, I think he's got the best thing out here.
Gulata looking really quick, too, here in second. He's just getting the run out of turn 2 really, really well. It doesn't matter who's in the race lead. Gulata's able to get a better run out of turn 2 and use the draft, but they're coming down into turn number 3. It gave him the dirty air and allows Garrett Mains to get down to his inside as Gulata was just a little tight through 3 and 4. And now we got a side-by-side battle for second coming down to 1.
Doesn't look like it's going to be a battle for too long, though. Mains fighting pretty hard there on the inside, but Gulata getting a really good run up top. He's so good through 1 and 2, but you see how he kind of struggles in 3 and 4. I feel like he's got the thing set up just a little bit tight, so he's able to really send it through the first half of this track, but it's really kind of biting him on the second end.
Yeah, the exit of turn 4, a lot tighter than the exit of turn 2, right? You can kind of use the racetrack in 1 and 2 to dictate the angle that you come out of the corner. Coming out of turn 4, you're just kind of hoping and praying you don't hit the fence coming out, right? It just kind of reaches out and grabs you. Especially if you've got a tight race car like we think Gulata might have right now. Now, tight equals stability, but we all know loose equals fast. But in the next-gen car, you don't want to be too loose. So there's a right balance to strike, but I would be worried about being this tight in the early going here through 3 and 4. This time, though, not as bad there for Gulata, so maybe it's just been a little bit of overdriving.
Very well could be. He also got a good shot of clean air on the entry of the corner, too, though. You saw Hoffman running, really wide arc. Gulata kind of sending it in, wrapping it on the paint. Running that low could be good for him on the tires, depending on how things set up. You see him kind of falling backwards right now, though.
Still early going, though, right?
Back.
This is what, lap 11? Lap 11 of the green flag run. So you got to think, the tires, they didn't wear in the spring until lap 25, 30. This is still definitely too early for the tire wear to really start showing. We're going to have to wait and see whenever Hoffman starts falling back through this pack and how fast to see how much the tire wear matters. But Garrett Maines has found the outside of Gulata for second. And you would think you get the outside, you probably got the spot done, the position made, but Gulata's going to drift up on the exit of turn number 2. We were talking about that tightness. It's really tight out of turn 2.
Yeah, Gulata in a really bad aero position with Maines right on the door. Did a good job to keep it out of Maines' door, though. That could have gone very hairy for both of these guys very fast. A lot of talent up here in the top 5. Maines is going to get the position, though. Move Maines back up to second spot. Now all eyes on the leader, Clayton Hoffman.
Yeah, Clayton still up in the race lead, and he's got a little bit of a gap now for Maines, but Maines will probably be able to use that draft down the front straightaway to bridge that gap a little bit. But we're just going to have to wait and see how hard Hoffman's driving. A little bit further back in the pack, we do have some movement. Graham Boland, sorry, that's Justin Levine looking to the inside of Himmel, or Meal for the 11th place spot. I have been corrected over the week. Justin trying to slide his nose off on the exit, just clear coming out of turn number 4. So Justin's going to take the spot and continue the run, looking for another one. But they're too wide right in front of him, not going to be able to make a move.
It's not just our owner, that's our in-race reporter today, too. We have full access to Levine whenever we want him, so let's find a great time for that.
Oh, man, I just can't wait to pull him up here and then him wreck immediately after. I just want to hear all the curse words flying as soon as he goes head onto the wall.
God, I wish we could do a radioactive. I'd have so much fun with that.
Oh, maybe we should.
Like, for one of the leagues, like, we need to get a bot or something that just records. It'd be so sick.
Look, that's just Arca Break Weekly, right? We can do the same thing that they do, but for top split, I feel like, because, bottom split, it's funny because it's a bunch of people that don't know what the heck they're doing yelling at each other, and they're typically wrong about what they're yelling at, which makes it funny. In the top split, it's kind of the same thing, not because they don't know what they're doing, but because all of their egos are so big that they can never admit whenever they're at fault.
I'm never wrong. What are you talking about?
Right, buddy. Right, you definitely don't. Well, yeah, you don't know because you're never in top split anymore.
Oh, I make it in top split.
Faded.
I make it in B open. What are we talking about?
the Lee Strand top split?
Yeah, I made top split in the ZMAX Cars Tour 2 weeks ago at Southern National.
Oh, that's very meaningful. That's that one matters.
Hey, buddy. iRating's iRating.
Hey, man. Well, I'm not hearing the ego coming from you just yet. Justin Levine, though, dropping. He got stuck on the bottom. That's going to allow Meal back by him as he's giving a huge shot to Derek Heitman, who's moving up through the field as well.
24 Machines made some pretty good moves. Was a huge contributing factor to that incident. Oh, big slide out, too. Woo!
They tried to wreck back there.
A lot of nervous moments further in the back of the pack.
See, if Levine wrecks, I'm pulling him as soon as he hits the fence so that we get the rage immediately.
Oh, he ain't even going to finish spinning. We're going to have him up here.
I can't wait. We're just going to have to stay quiet, too, so he doesn't know he's been moved.
Well, he hears the giant badonk when you move him up channels.
Okay, well, that's a good point. Either way. Side by side a little bit in front of him. Froman down on the bottom. Heitman continuing his charge through the field. Heitman up from 15th up to 9th, looking to the outside here. Sorry, up to 8th.
Somebody that's being really steady carving his way through right now. Jacob Schneider, qualified 24th on the grid, up to 17th right now. Slowly, methodically working his way through here. Definitely on, that long haul kind of pace, running the bottom, trying to save some tire, letting people go. Got a feeling he's going to be flying. Oh, a little bit of smoke, a little bit further up ahead of him, though.
Everybody keeps it righted. Garrett Maines is taking the race lead away from Hoffman. I think the tires are starting to hurt on Hoffman ever so slightly. I think that draft will probably keep him in the second place spot for a little bit, but I do think that pushing it from 18th to 1st as quick as he did is going to end up, kind of being a detriment here pretty soon. Obviously, if we get that yellow flag, it'll save him.
Good news for him, though, if he doesn't fall a whole lot of positions here, and is able to keep it under him. And it looks like he's got the capabilities. You see him put a little bit of a fight back to Garrett Maines, but Gitter's going to dive down to the inside on the back straightaway.
Yeah, Hoffman got tight, kissed the wall a little bit. Gitter now down to the bottom, trying to take the second place spot away, but Hoffman's got the preferred outside groove, running the defensive line. But you can see that he's just struggling even out there. He's having a hard time, and it's going to end up being 3 wide down the front straightaway. The 49 out of absolutely nowhere. Graham Bolin has come from 27th up to 3rd, and now trying to take second place away from Patrick Gitter.
Bolin with an insane run to split them down the middle. You're right, man. Out of absolute thin air. I did not see that charge coming. He's going for the race lead right now, coming into turn 3 on the inside of Garrett Maines.
Graham Bolin has been shot out of a freaking cannon, man. Came from the back of the pack on this restart and has just not let up, all over the back bumper of your race leader. Garrett had a little bit better run out of 4 just from running that outside line, so Bolin's just going to have to regroup. But, man, he has been unbelievably quick the last couple laps, and now Garrett's having to go defensive up top.
Look at how loose Graham's car is. You can see him just fishtailing that thing all the way through the corner. You know that he is absolutely on the limit of those tires right now, just running competitive laps. What a rocket. Bolin to the lead in the caution.
Spinner down into turn number 3. He saves it right in front of Levine. Or sorry, that's a different orange car way back there. Johnny Baldridge on the outside there getting around. Was the 98? Is that Gulata that we saw up front earlier?
I believe so.
No, sorry, that's Baker. We got a couple of different 98s in the field, so it makes it a little bit difficult on me. Looks like that's Matt Baker that went around down into turn 3 in a side-by-side battle with Benefield. And honestly, comes down ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think he thought that he was clear of Benefield and just, turned down. Spotter may have, said clear. Sometimes when you're in a situation like that, it's kind of
Just slight movement down to the left. Wasn't anything ridiculous. Got to respond to Mercedes F1 fan in the chat, though. Asking about the tires going flat immediately. No. I don't even think we don't have flat spots. So, no. The tires do not blow out. I think if you run them down to 0% on the tire wear, they blow out. But that's the only way that you're going to get a flat tire on here.
Tell you what, Hoffman's getting what he wanted right now. Everybody pitting. 27 laps into this thing. A massive net positive for him with all the positions he was able to get at the start of this thing. Now doesn't have to pay for that tire disadvantage too bad.
A lot of these guys coming down pit road. Derek Heitman choosing to stay out on the racetrack. I don't mind saving a set. You got 3 behind the wall, but I don't know. You got 4 for the whole race. That means you've got, what, 25 laps per set of tires? I feel like once you hit that 25 mark, you almost want to come down. I mean, obviously, if a caution happens in 10 laps, he's going to be looking pretty smart, to say the least. But I'd still be a little bit worried being Heitman out there.
I just don't see a need in saving that many sets of tires.
I mean, if you get that late race caution, we've seen what you can do on the outside if everybody's on even tires. Imagine that with a 20-lap tire advantage because you saved a set right now.
That is a massive gamble, though. I mean, if they stay green for the next 40 laps here, not only is that extra set of tires irrelevant completely, but you're probably going a lap down.
Maybe not quite a lap down, but I definitely think you're not finishing in the top 15, top 20, maybe even. I mean, the fields are so tight nowadays, especially the top split races on Monday night, right? You come to these A Opens and there's not a lot of field spread. There's definitely field spread, but not like we used to see back in the day. So it becomes more of an issue, right? If this is the Gen 6 car back in 2017, 2018, before we got that terrible 550 horsepower package, then I could see it at least making a little bit more sense in terms of risk versus reward, right? The risk wouldn't be as big because I don't think you'd fall as far back as quickly than you will in this car, or as you will in this car. But like I said, the reward is still about the same, I feel like. So I see what Heitman's going for, and I don't necessarily dislike it, but he looked at like he had pretty good pace on the even stuff with everybody else. Typically, this is a move you kind of see whenever you've kind of resigned yourself to not being a top 5 car, but Heitman was coming through the field pretty good.
Hey, what you're talking about field spread. And I do miss the days when you could be in top split and still have, guys like Yogi Velho and Robert Cook in the session. Because, man, their commentary in a top split race was always above and beyond anything else. 2 of the happiest guys to be out there, that's for sure.
We still need to set up a GridVision after dark where we go completely off the rails. If you've watched some of our B opens, you would think how much more off the rails can you get? But let me just tell you, if you know me and Sheldon, we can go way further off the rails, way off the tracks. You know that impossible question to answer where like if a train is on the tracks to kill 5 people and you got to pull the lever to kill 1.
The trolley.
Yeah, the trolley problem. Well, I put a ramp in front of the trolley, or me and Sheldon, whenever we go off the rails, we put a ramp in front of the trolley and just send it into outer space and blow up a planet with it. So that's what it would be like if we can get the GridVision After Dark going. I don't know exactly what series we could do that with, but I'm telling you, that'll be a fun broadcast. We're gonna figure it out.
It would be an absolute blast.
I promise.
Although I'm pretty sure we'd get shadow banned on everything the second we tried it.
Well, to be honest, with how I talk, and I would love to work in NASCAR or for NASCAR at some point, but with the way I talk on this, I feel like I'm blacklisted already, right? I'm a little too opinionated, a little too honest with what I see on the racetrack. Like what I saw this weekend at Bristol. I can't believe how much money I spent to go to that daggum racetrack for it to be nobody can pass.
We should start a podcast.
Yeah, well,
I'm in my mid-20s. I mean, let's do it.
Something. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, man. I'm sending that trolley straight to Mars. Elon Musk wants to populate the planet. Well, I'm gonna wait for him to populate it, and then I'm sending that trolley straight into it. Either way, we're coming back down to the green flag. So back onto the rails we go. Back onto Earth. Derek Heitman back to the gas. Back to the green flag. Racing once again. How fast does he drop though on those older tires?
I'm expecting center of turn 1. See Maines sticking behind Heitman right here. I'm impressed. There's actually some pace there. Not as much as he needs, but here comes Maines diving down to the inside on the back straightaway.
Down to 3, Maines easily takes the lead. There it is. Just drives it in deeper than the 76 can go. Even on the outside, Derek just cannot hang on, and they're going to be tight right behind him. Bolin down on the bottom. Gitter in the middle. Hoffman way on the outside. Heitman trying to give the draft to his teammate down the front straightaway, but Gitter ends up getting put in the sucker hole, and he's still stuck 3 wide. Hoffman way out to the outside. Bolin way down to the inside. Both those guys are going to be side by side for second, coming off of 2.
Clayton Hoffman up top with the advantage with the run right now. Bolin going to tuck in line behind him. Going to single file out right now for the 3rd place just for a second. Although you see Gitter diving it down to the bottom. Ooh, the 98 a little bit tight with the 76. 3 wide down the front straightaway with Roman up against the fence. And there's Levine.
Oh, man, Roman drove it in so deep. He somehow got to the outside of his teammate. That's Derek Heitman in the 40. Sorry, not Derek Heitman. That's a Conti driver. That's James Houghton in the 14. 41 on your screen. Roman going around his outside with a little bit of help from Levine behind down the back straightaway. Both these guys ripping the top in the early going of this run. Now, you got to think, we got one more pit stop regardless, right? We cannot make it to the end here. Oh, tight coming down the front straightaway. So you might think that these guys aren't going to save tires as long on this run because they don't have to run as long until that green flag pit stop.
No, everybody's on full send right now. Also, man, Houghton, that's somebody that we did not talk about, a whole lot this season. Had a lot of bad luck, got caught up in a lot of incidents. It hasn't been the best year for him. Here these last couple weeks, man, he has been up and fighting in that top 10, top 5 range. Scored himself a win, I believe, last week at Bristol. Looking really good in that 41 machine. Such a strong turnaround.
Top 5 as they run currently. Garrett Maines, Clayton Hoffman, Graham Bolin, Nicholas Roman, Justin Levine. As we come out of turn number 2, and Gulata's trying to get himself back into the top 5. Gulata had a really, really good short run race car in that first stint. So I expect Gulata to kind of climb back up towards the front as well. But like I said earlier, these guys are running a little bit harder than they did in the first stint. They don't have to run this 50 laps, right? They restarted around lap 30. The max you're going to see these guys run to is 65-70 on this stint, which would be 35 to 40 laps. A lot less on the tires, so you just don't have that fall-off period. So might as well go as hard as you can at the beginning of this one.
Yeah, and right now you see the battle for 4th place starting to heat up. Levine running that outside line, Roman run the bottom. Now they're going to flip-flop going into turn 3 here. Everything you can do to try and keep the clean air. Levine will get choked up there on the bottom, though. Almost get run over by Gulata coming out of turn 4, and he's going to lose a spot down the front straightaway.
Not the only thing Levine gets choked up on, unfortunately, but there out of turn number 4, it was the important one. He ends up losing the spot. Gulata up to 5th. Levine back to 6th. Roman was kind of looking to the bottom there, not able to get a run on Bolin, who's got that outside line cooking right now, and just kind of in his own little world right now. Oh, but they're spinning down into turn number 3. One car, just about a mirror image of what we saw earlier, able to save it in just about the same way. I think that's Paul Bergoli. And you know who looks like a genius right now?
Me.
No, you, buddy. I don't think you ever look like a genius, but I appreciate the optimism. Derek Heitman, he fell all the way back to 18th, about 6-7 laps on the tires, and now he gets to have the freshest rubber in the field.
That's a rough break for the 12 machine of Bergoli there.
Well, not too rough of a break. It could have been a lot worse, right? That car could be destroyed like we saw happen to Federico earlier, but we passed that 1/3 mark. We're under caution, so we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break. Whenever we come back, we got more racing action coming at you live.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We are back in action. Now, are we missing? No, sorry. Graham Bolin has just left a spot open on the grid at the very front for Dale Earnhardt. How sweet of him, just like back in 2001. at Rockingham, but he ends up taking that spot back over, and it's going to be Graham Boland, Justin Levine, Roger Pierce, Jacob Schneider in the top 4.
Not the throwback we were expecting.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of guys actually did pit, though. The top 4 stayed out. Everybody else pitted. So this is an even more precarious position for everybody that pitted, because now they're down a set of tires. They've got 1 left for the rest of the race.
See, this would have been the perfect time to pull up Levine, but we were under commercial.
Well, we're going to wait for him to wreck.
Oh, all right.
We're coming back to the green flag. It could happen right here, right now, as they battle for the race lead on old tires. Boland back to the gas, and, well, that's a interesting restart that I definitely didn't expect. I almost thought he was wrecking the thing, but that's definitely the best way to get some get a gap to the rest of the field before you come down into turn number 1. He easily does it. Doesn't break the draft, so Levine's going to have a good bit of momentum coming down the back straightaway, but he gave himself a lot of breathing space.
I do think that's a penalty in real life, though.
It is. It definitely is.
But definitely not on here. Levine with a hard charge up against the fence right now, though, in 3 and 4. Going to close up that gap just a little bit, but Boland going to get the drive off here. Man, I think Boland's got the best piece here right now.
I feel like he can put that car anywhere. So I'd have to agree with you in the early going. And I mean, through 1 and 2, I'm just watching him. He is hanging that right rear out more than anybody by far. And you know, whenever I do that, I burn the absolute living hell out of my right rear on this car. That's my driving style. I like to use the right rear, but in this car, you typically can't do it. But whatever Graham Boland's got under that thing, it's working so far. Mostly the driver behind the wheel, I imagine.
Yes, solid setup and a lot of talent. Graham has been somebody that's been really fast, really potent, and pretty much everything that he's ever driven on the service. I mean, heck, dude, we both remember when he was beating everybody's butts every week in B Open and A Open way back in the day.
Pierce making some moves finally up into the top 5. Was looking to the inside of Garrett Maines, now stuck in a battle for that 5th place spot. Thomas Delcourt to the outside in the preferred groove, so Pierce is probably going to get pinched off coming out of turn number 4, and the momentum is going to bring Delcourt back by. So Pierce back down to 6. Garrett Maines, though, on the newer tires. Highest runner on the new tires in 3rd on the outside of his teammate Schneider.
Schneider sticking down there to the bottom, trying to save a little bit of those Goodyear Eagles as you see Maines up there sending it as hard as he can up on the top. Going to get a really good run down the back straightaway here, and he's going to bring that 19 machine of Delcourt with him as they come down into turn number 3.
And I got to say, some of these guys might not have actually taken tires, right? If you pitted, you can make it to the end of the to the end of the race on gas, I believe, or it's going to be mighty close to where maybe you have to save a little bit. So some of these guys might have just taken a gas and go, might have not taken the tires. So something we got to watch out for. But right now, the front 2 are just absolutely storming away. We know that they're on old tires. We know they don't have enough fuel to make it, but they are flying away from this pack right now.
Oh, Schneider with a gnarly block to the 95 of Roman. We'll get a huge shot down the back straightaway. Now he's going to be side by side with Maines, but Maines is going to prevail up here in the middle line. But here comes Roman up against the top.
Roman at the top, trying to rip it around his teammate. It looks like he's going to take 1 spot away from Schneider. Can he get to the outside of Maines? No, he can't down the front straightaway. Delcourt and Maines both took gas only. Schneider took tires. I'm not too sure about Roman here in the number 95, but he's looking awfully sporty in the top 5.
And Brennan Mill in that 24 machine making lots of moves as he got in that incident earlier. Going to take the spot from Schneider now. He's up to P7. Looking real racy in that number 24 this evening.
Roman in 5th, Meal in 6th. Currently holding on to the spot after he's just taken it from Schneider, but Schneider wants it right back down to the bottom of turn number 1. What I love about this racetrack, you can just run all over it, man. These guys don't even have to pinch in the middle of the corner, and you can just run even out of the corner. The outside line's going to get the momentum, but you can make the passes on the inside, unlike what we saw in real life last week.
It's such an amazing track. I'll always love it when we come here, man. This place is so much fun in literally everything and has been for a long time. It's the only place you don't want to be is you don't want to be in that middle line, it feels like. It feels like a sucker hole when you get up there.
Boland and Levine still leading the way. Delcourt 3rd. Garrett Maines in 4th, but he's losing that spot to Roger Pierce right now. Pierce goes flying around the outside. Roger Pierce getting himself up into the 4th place spot. I imagine Pierce might have taken tires on that last pit stop because he has been flying.
Man, what I wouldn't do to get in Levine's head right now. Figure out what he's thinking, running P2 to Graham Boland.
Pierce did take tires. You can see it on that pit stop time, 14.36 seconds. So Pierce with about 7 green flag lap newer tires. Then the 3 drivers in front of him, and he has enough fuel to make it to the end. If this thing runs green, I'm liking Roger Pierce. Now, he could be pushing it a little bit too hard, I guess. But I'm kind of liking the position he's in.
Well, the tires, you can go burn those things off pretty quick, pretty fast. But that fuel, that detriment these other guys are in, they're pretty much going to start saving as early as they possibly can.
How many laps can we make it under green without any saving? 58?
I think we're right around that threshold where if you push too hard, you could run out pretty quick.
Well, and it's a big difference at this racetrack too, right? From running the bottom to the top. At the top side of the racetrack, especially in the open setup series, you're burning off a lot more gas. You can carry a lot of throttle. Now on the bottom side of the racetrack, obviously you're lifting a little bit earlier, trying to get the car down to the bottom, not using a lot through the center of the corner until you can really get back to it, once you get down into turn number 4. So you're just off the throttle a lot longer, save a lot more gas over the course of 60 laps. So if you're running the bottom this entire run, I think you're in a better fuel situation.
Better fuel situation as well as a better tire situation. Because that outside line, it chews them off pretty quick. As we've so documented every week. Throw some curveballs, iRacing. Come on. Bring back dynamic tracks.
A little bit of side-by-side racing here as Hoffman's to the inside of Gulata, fighting inside of the top 10. But these guys were fighting up for the lead a little bit earlier, back about lap 5, lap 10. But right now, Gulata's taken 8th away from Clayton Hoffman as we come down into turn number 3. Both these guys tailing James Houghton, but Gulata just looks so good on the bottom side of the racetrack. I didn't think there was any chance that he was going to come out of that corner even with Houghton. But somehow he got there, and he's continuing that momentum. Houghton's got a little bit better run down the front stretch, but Gulata's keeping himself in it, and he's going to drive it in deep down into turn number 1, and it looks like he's got Houghton cleared.
Yeah, Gulata, surprising tonight. Really strong hot rod. Really good pace, in the same ballpark as the rest of these guys around him. Making big moves, run up against the top. He's going to try and pass Garrett Maines here in 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to get him. Huge run down the front straightaway. Move the spot to Gulata now, P7.
Again, we haven't had that long run yet, right? So we don't know how these guys that really, really fly on the short run are going to do as this thing continues to get further and further and further on into the race. If we stay green, and there's a lot of different strategies, right? Like Bolin and Levine up in 1st and 2nd, and Delcourt back in 4th. They can't make it to the end. We know for a fact that they cannot. So they are just pushing it full tilt and hoping that another caution flag comes out because they've got 1 extra set of tires than these guys behind them. But if that yellow flag doesn't fly, the race right now that you're seeing that's 3 wide, the one on the outside and the one on the inside, would be the ones fighting for the race win with Roger Pierce right in front of them.
And I was talking earlier, man, about, how I thought Graham Bolin had the absolute best car in the field. Levine has been completely mirroring him this entire run. The only guy to stick with him here. Looks like, shocker, right? Ken Byron builds fast race cars. But looks like they brought a fast piece again this week here to Kansas.
I'm watching the rear chase of Bolin. Typically I do that on the race leader on my own iRacing, and then obviously I have the broadcast over on another screen. Watching this from the rear chase of Graham Bolin is absolutely ridiculous. His car is just like wiggling the entire corner. It almost looks loose, but then it's like it catches side force at a time whenever you just don't expect it in this car because you just don't ever get side force. But it's looking like he's getting that in the middle of the corner, and it just wiggles back and forth, back and forth, back and forth on the nose, just pivoting so beautifully. And I'm looking back at Levine, and his car doesn't look like it moves at all. It looks unbelievably stable. But right now it's Graham Bolin with the race lead, who's looking faster. Like I said, loose is fast. If you can handle it, if you can handle that little bit of a wiggle, you're going to be faster than anybody out here.
I can tell you every setup builder in the service is probably going to be looking back at this thing trying to figure out how to recreate that. Because that right there, you look for those extra little bits and pieces to make these sets just a little bit faster every week. That right there, that might be one of the next big things that everybody's missing. That one guy just finds it, and then boom, it's lights out on the competition.
I just can't believe how much he's able to step out the right rear and not have this thing want to spin around on him. It's just mental to me. Anytime I've driven this car, you do that. It's fast for a while, but your right rear is absolutely shredded, completely gone after a while. Right now, Boland's put 20 laps on these tires, and him and Levine are still running around running away from everybody.
God, it just brings back memories back when we used to run the Gen 6s when they used to be fun, right?
Yeah.
Like the back end kicking out on you every 2 seconds, and you're doing everything you can to fight the whole thing straight. And
Would love it if they make the Coke Series the Gen 4 car, man. That needs to be done. It needs to.
So great. Love the Gen 4 car. Oh, Levine getting a huge arrow push back there behind Boland, going to slide up, just about knock down the fence at 3 and 4. It looks like he's at that point where his tires are about to just wave bye-bye to him for the rest of the run.
What do you say we pull up our in-race reporter here? We've hit the lap 60 mark, so we might as well pull him up at some point. Now he's made that little mistake. Hopefully we can, kind of push him into another one. Mr. Justin Levine, you're up in the broadcast booth. How you doing there in the second place position, bud? Well, I don't know if we've got him.
I might, because I'm here. This is very weird. 1 minute the car is plowing tight and I got to get out of it like I did the last lap, and the next minute I'm on the edge sitting on that right rear and pedaling it, trying to keep it from snapping.
Are you just sitting here hoping and praying for a caution, knowing you don't have enough fuel to make it to the end, but you've got an extra tire set behind the pit wall? Or are you just counting down the laps hoping somebody wrecks it behind you?
100%. We're sitting ducks here, so now just follow Graham, pull away as much as possible to make them push it, and hope we get this caution here so that we can fly through the field together again.
Well, Justin, thank you for coming up and talking to us a little bit. We're going to make it short and abbreviated since you're under the green flag racing conditions right now. We might pull you up again under caution if we get one later, but just wanted to check in how you're doing and kind of the thought process going on behind your steering wheel here and behind your head with the strategy play. So thank you for coming up and talking to us. Hopefully we can catch you a little bit later.
Anytime. I'll be ready next time.
And don't wreck it.
Don't tell them that. We want them to wreck it.
Man.
We need to get more people to get into the Discord and give us that opportunity. Obviously, we're sponsored by Ryco, so I got to give a big shout out to Ryco Performance and, say their guys should definitely come up here. But I mean everybody else in the field too, right? I mean the consistent drivers, a couple of the Conti guys. I would love to have Trent Dinkle for the B races to come up here and be able to pull some of those guys. Patrick Gitter. I would love to be able to get some different viewpoints from different teams.
Could you imagine pulling up Roman in the middle of a run? Oh my God, that would be a hoot.
Well, I mean, look, people have gotten upset with me for some contact down the back straightaway. But yeah, people have gotten upset with me for some of my comments and some of my language. Imagine having Vroman in here in the middle of the race. Holy crap.
Ken, make it happen for us.
I think there's probably a reason why he doesn't.
Yeah, right there. That's why we want it. 3 wide with Roman up on the top. Going to get the run on Houghton. Clearing him and Gitter. Gitter stuck on the bottom right now.
Going to look at a replay here on GridVision. Okay, well, unfortunately, the replay decided to blink out completely on us, so we got a little bit of tire rubber chunking up for no reason, because we know it. We know it doesn't do that in real life.
Allegedly, it was Johan Seminario that just went back to the year 1955.
Oh, no. He's running. Where is he running right now? Johan? Oh, well, he's dead last, so he's probably going back to prevent his grandparents from meeting each other so they doesn't have to race in this race. Oh, big wiggle out of turn number 2. Is that Delcourt just hanging onto that thing, fishtailing? Able to hang on to it, but he's going to lose a couple spots, lose a bit of momentum. And something's happened to Schneider, too. His right front fender is creased.
I bet you he's one of the many guys that got up there and just got a little bit of that wall. The outside line, it's fast, but it'll sneak up on you pretty quick. That's not like Darlington where you expect to bang the heck out of it.
Delcourt's wrecking it out of turn number 2, spinning hard into the inside wall. Not that hard, just backs it in. Oh, going to come back across the racetrack. The caution flag's still not flying, but him coming back across the track, if there's anybody back here, is going to bring it out, and the yellow flag's flying. That is what Bolin and Justin Levine needed. The problem is, everybody's going to come down pit road. So they'll keep their track position because everybody's putting on tires. But for the strategy to really, really hit, they're going to need a caution with about 10 laps left so they can come down and put it on another set. But getting a look back to see what happened to Delcourt coming out of 2. Honestly, just the same exact thing that happened the last time around. Lucky James Schneider could have been absolutely destroyed in that one. But this time for the 19 actually spun it all the way around.
See if we can get an onboard. But that time, man, that 19 looked dead sideways through center to exit. I feel like he was spinning regardless if there's anybody behind him. Oh, well, I mean, there we are.
That's kind of what I was talking about with Bolin. The way that he's driving off the right rear, and I knew he wasn't going to wear out the right tire because it's, or the right rear because it's Graham Bolin. But like, anytime I see somebody doing that, you're running off the right rear, and you're going to be wrecking out of the corner. But if you're Graham, apparently you're not going to run it off. So I don't know what in the world he's doing different to where he can stick that right rear out and actually get it to last and not wear off the tire. But he's doing a great job of it so far as these guys coming down pit road for what could be the final pit stop of the night. But we are going to take our final commercial break of the A Open. Whenever we come back, we got the green flag coming at you live with about 27 laps to go.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We're going to have 28 laps to go whenever we come across the line this time by, or I should say 29 laps to go, as Derek Heitman's going to be up in the race lead. Devin Medeiros in second. They didn't pit. Gonna have to see if that decision works out for these guys. Coming back down to the green flag. Graham Bolin already jumping to the outside, trying to make it 3 wide as we come across the start finish.
Side by side, 3 wide, 20 machine. Medeiros falling backwards through the field. Those old tires already throwing him a massive disadvantage. Oh, the 98 of Gulata just about got turned off the front bumper of Garrett Maines. Maines trying to give him a push down the back straightaway here, though, to make up for it. Everything's going to be clean going into turn 3.
Oh, 4 wide further back down into turn 3. Hoffman giving a little bit of a door check. One guy backing out. I believe that was Monteros already falling way back. The old tires just not working out. And if you thought that these guys were racing crazy beforehand, less than 30 laps to go with one set of tires left, you better believe that these guys are about to be racing like a bunch of idiots. Really close coming down to turn number 1, nearly contact.
New race leader, though, James Houghton, working his way through the pack, through all the guys in the older tires, moving himself up a handful of spots, getting up here to the first spot. He's got a rearview mirror, though, full of Graham Boland, and just behind him, Justin Levine's worked his way back up into third spot.
Whoa, Gulata way down to the bottom of the racetrack with a big block on Roger Pierce, trying to make the move done, and now Levine is under fire from Gulata. Somehow Gulata does that crazy move down to the bottom of the racetrack, still gets momentum out of it, but now he's stuck in a side-by-side battle with Levine for fourth. With Garrett Maines for fourth. Can Maines continue the momentum on the outside? Not looking like it's going to be enough. Gulata could have probably fit into that hole, but he decided not to.
Well, a little bit of give and take, man. We don't see that a whole lot, but now it's going to be nearly 3 wide with Levine on the outside. Maines trying to figure out where he wants to go. Going to get behind Gulata. We'll give a huge push to Levine down here on the front straightaway, though, to try and get them by on the top.
And it's all about when can Graham Boland get past James Houghton. I believe Houghton's on older stuff, right? I don't think he came down pit road. He was running about 5th or 6th beforehand. It would have been an absolutely massive pit stop for him to get out in front of these guys. So I think Houghton's on a little bit older rubber. But he's up in the race lead, has the clean air, and he's running that top side, given, completely ruining ruining the clean air for Graham Boland. Houghton's on 2. A 9-second pit stop, that's a 2-tire pit stop.
Looking really strong out here right now. 2 tires looking like they're working. Maybe threw some adjustments in it to make it a little bit better to kind of compensate for that loss of grip on the left sides. Holding up a pretty good fight right now, though.
Used to on iRacing, 2 tires didn't work, right? But with the next-gen car, the clean air means so much that it can give you enough of a boost to hold onto the lead with the clean air for a long time. Is 29 laps too long for Houghton, though? Meanwhile, further back, Gulata's looking for third on Levine.
A lot of down to the inside as they come down to turn number 1. Going to get a little bit of advantage. Is he going to try for the slide job? Not going to have the opportunity because Graham Boland's going to be there. Oh, he's got it. Oh, that was close.
Gulata slides up in front of the nose of Levine out of turn number 2. And now he's looking for second. He's to the inside of Graham Boland already. Joseph Gulata is going for it. Contact out of turn 4 between the two.
A little bit of contact between Gulata and Maines. Gulata sticking down there to the bottom, right by the grass. Going to get down here on the inside into turn number 1. Boland going to fight back so strong, though. He's been so fast on that outside line, but here comes Gulata with a slide job right up coming out turn number 2.
Gulata tried to throw the block, but couldn't quite do it. And more contact between him and Boland. Coming down into turn 3. Boland's going to look to the bottom for the race lead, trying to pull the slider. Gulata's going way down to the bottom, making it 3 wide. James Houghton stuck up top, and now it's 2 wide for the race lead, 2 wide for second, for third. Garrett Maines somehow gets through to third. Boland going backwards, 3 wide for the lead once again with Garrett Maines to the bottom.
Gulata stuck in the middle. Oh, Maines gets the apron. It's going to be really close coming out turn number 2.
Oh,
just
man!
About contact.
Joseph Gulata somehow to the lead, and now 3 wide for second again. Funneling back down to 2 wide for third. Houghton just has to settle for the second place spot, but Joseph Gulata on these short runs has just been ridiculous.
Oh, Boland just about lost it right there in front of everybody, trying to make a move to the bottom of Houghton. Here comes Maines fighting back to second, running the apron down through the front straightaway. But Levine, huge shot to the back of the 41 machine to try and get him even with Maines. Not going to be enough, though, as Maines is going to throw a slider coming out of turn number 2.
My word, Joseph Gulata, what a handful of moves that he's made over the course of the last couple laps to give himself a shot at this. He's got the clean air. He's got the same tires as these guys behind him. That 98 has been absolutely flying since the drop of the green flag on the restart. Every single restart of this race, he has been quick on the short run, and it is no different here on what could be the last green flag run of the day.
Now, here's the question, man. Does he have enough to make it the next 20 laps? That's all he needs. 20 laps in front of Maines, 20 laps in front of Boland. Both of those guys, though, they're gonna be a hard fight. I mean, we've seen Maines win just about everything. We know the talent level of Graham Boland and the pace that he has in that machine tonight. It's gonna be a tough one.
My goodness, I cannot believe the moves that he can make through 3 and 4. Everybody else gets really, really tight through 3 and 4, especially as they come into turn number 4 and on the exit. But for some reason, as soon as they switch from 3 to 4, Gulata is able to turn from the freaking wall and get all the way down to the white line on these restarts and make a lot of momentum out of it, man. That's how he was able to make a good chunk of his passes, and it's gotten himself up into the race lead.
I mean, have we even talked about Gulata this year?
Not before tonight.
One heck of a debut for this guy, then. Like, so much speed, so much pace.
Now, Sheldon, should you be saying this? Because you are the Jinx Master, and there's still 18 laps to go.
Look, buddy, if you can
Are you trying to kill him?
If you can go out here and you can put a fight at any point in a run to Bolin, Maines, Levine, Houghton, all these guys that are out here every week scrapping and clawing in your first start in a series that we've covered anyway, that's a win in itself, and that's impressive.
Man, I was talking about sending the trolley into Mars. It sounds like you're trying to send it straight into Joseph Gulata here with your record of jinxes. But we'll have to wait and see. Still 17 to go. Gulata up in the race lead. Maines running them down ever so slightly, but Maines is having to run a little bit lower on the racetrack. Kind of ripping that seam, putting 2 tires below the seam, 2 tires above it, kind of helping the rotation in that car. We'll have to wait and see if he can run down the 98 of Gulata up at the front.
Yeah, he's desperately trying to get clean air to that left front corner of the splitter. Trying to make sure the car doesn't have to do as much work directly behind that 98 machine of Gulata. Getting a huge run here. But the question is, once he starts getting to that, that bubble, that threshold, when you get right to the bumper, is he going to start struggling?
Gulata's already struggling.
Loose out of 2.
The right rear is already hurting for the 98. Can he hang on to this thing? Garrett Maines down to the inside. He's challenging for the race lead. Coming to 15 to go. Can Gulata keep the momentum on the outside, or is he going to get too loose?
Just about to lose
I see tire smoke, just about losing it. Goes the 98. Somehow hangs on to it. He's going to hold the side draft and hold the momentum over Garrett Maines down the front straightaway. But Maines is going to have the advantage coming down into turn number 1. Gulata puts it on his door. Down into the entrance of the corner. Can't quite get it as low as Maines, but he's not letting him out.
I tell you what, man, that 98 has given it everything it's got. Dead sideways up there on the outside lines, like watching Larson back when he used to drive for Chip Ganassi. Giving it everything he's got, but not enough. Maine's going to get in front of him. Tires definitely worn out. Oh, into the fence, the 98.
Oh, Gulata with a huge hit to the outside wall. That's going to lose him second place, too. Graham Bolin around his outside. Going to make it an easy pass for Graham. So I think it's going to come down to Maines and Graham at the end of this thing. We saw Maines was kind of saving most of the race, I got to say, but Bolin was undoubtedly the quickest on the longer run. As we go another 14 laps, can Graham Bolin make the move around Garrett Maines?
This is the first time that these two have really had a straight-up fight against each other this entire race. First run, Bolin was stuck in the back, worked his way up to the front. Second run, Maines kind of got shuffled, put in a weird spot. Looked like he was on a saving strategy. Now we get to find out, in a 1v1 kind of dogfight between these two, which one is the best.
Oh, Houghton's in the wall. Houghton's in the wall in turn number 2. He's losing a big chunk of spots down the back straightaway. Luckily for him, he's got a little bit of a gap. Something happened a couple laps ago that has spread out the field ever so slightly there around the 10th place position, or a little bit further back in 12th for Houghton. It's going to move a couple people back up. Joseph Gulata's in 3rd, Levine 4th, Nicholas Roman now up into the top 5 as we come down to 13 laps to go.
All right, so it looks like everybody has said anything good about today is going to crap the bed here with 10 laps left in this thing.
Yeah, you jinxed Gulata. You've ruined Houghton. Say something good about Levine real quick.
Justin Levine is the best. I can't say anything good about Levine. It's Levine.
Oh, man. Well, you still stopped that after saying Justin Levine is the best, so I'm expecting him to go hard into the fence pretty soon here. But Nicholas Roman's going to take the 4th place spot away from him like he was sitting still. He's the best GridVision car in this session right now. Oh, well, that's a good one. I'll give you that one. But Roman's looking quick. Brandon might have called it in the chat. Roman's coming alive whenever it matters most. Man, look at the 8 of Jimmy Mullis, too. He's going to slide across the no-nos of Levine, and he's into the fence. Just like I said, Sheldon jinxes again. Oh, my God, no. Oh, we should interview him. The Sheldon jinx is alive and well. My word. Side by side, though, Roman. Jimmy Mullis. I said about Nicholas Roman coming alive. Mullis is coming out of absolutely freaking nowhere, man. The number 8 car has come alive at the end of this race. He's up into the top 5, looking for 4th, and looking for 3rd is Gulata slow on the outside. There we go. Slide job. He's got it. Move him up to P3 now. Right behind. I mean, heck, we got a pro 1, 2, 3 right now. Who would have thought?
Yeah, right. Who'd have thunk it?
Who would have thunk that was going to happen at the beginning of this one? It took a very roundabout way to get here, but the cream always rises to the top at the end of these things, huh?
I think Mullis woke up late.
Well, he's definitely awake now.
Back there mid-pack all race. Didn't see him till now, but here he is, P3, diving down to the inside of Graham Boland.
The gummies have worn off for Jimmy Mullis. I mean, they have worn off completely. He is finally awake and alert and ready to go. Jimmy Mullis down to the inside of Graham Boland for second. Can he get the move done down into turn number 3? Mullis is just flying on the bottom side of the racetrack. He's cleared him.
He's got it. Another huge slide job. That 8 machine moving up P2 now. Does he have enough time?
Boland with a block out of hell on Nicholas Roman down the front straightaway. I'm telling you, I thought they were wrecking. I'm sorry for the scream, but I could have swore Boland and Roman were dying.
I don't know, man. I wouldn't be throwing blocks on Roman. That guy seems to care.
Oh, they're wrecking further back. One Ryco machine goes spinning. He saves it down to the inside of the racetrack. Not quite sure which one it is.
27 machine.
Roger Pierce going backwards. He's going to fall all the way back to the back of the lead lap. Tough break for the 27, but racing hard up here for the final podium position. Mr. Third Place himself, Nicholas Roman, looking to make it another third place.
It looks like he's got it too. Completely clear on Boland. Going to slide up here in front of him. Boland going to look to try and cut down to the bottom. Huge run down the back straightaway.
Roman's got some help though. Joseph squared, giving a bump to Nick. Oh, Boland just about put them both in the fence. Joseph finds the wall. Roman still up, ripping the fence, trying to get the momentum. Not going to be able to have enough, but he is going to be able to pull the cut back. Nicholas Roman trying to take it right back. Boland with the side draft, but it's not going to be enough. Nicholas Roman up to third.
But here comes Boland, diving it back down the bottom, trying to slide it again. Clips the apron a little bit. It's going to kill the momentum. Boland's going to be going backwards here, coming out of turn 2 if he can't get up in front of Joseph.
Joseph
huge block on Joseph.
What a block from Boland. That's going to put Joseph on the bottom now from Hoffman. Hoffman looking to get himself back into the top 5 as he's ripping the outside of the racetrack. But Joseph's not done. Downstairs, he's trying to do everything he can to hold on to the top 5 after that huge block down the back straightaway. Taking across the line. 6 laps to go this time by.
Hoffman just thanked Joseph for not killing them both there because he knew that he had every opportunity to.
All right, 5 laps to go. It took a long time for the ticker that time to switch over, but Garrett Baines up in the race lead with 5 laps to go. Most of the field has kind of spread out. Gulata's still fighting with Gitter back here for 7th, and Levine's back there in 9th, also just trying to nurse this thing home after that right front contact. Got some damage to that right front fender, but Garrett Baines up in the race lead, 4 laps to go. Mullis was cutting that gap ever so slightly, was getting it down to about 0.4 of a second, but it slowly creeped back up to 5 at the line that time. But through turn 1, Mullis a little quicker, but on the exit of 2, he loses it. Yeah.
He had a huge slide there in the center of 1 and 2, and that's going to really hurt him. Maine's just a little bit faster, hundredths to, almost tenths here and there.
Man, how many times am I going to have to call Nicholas Roman Mr. Third Place before he cusses me out in the booth? Because I'm getting ready to do it again on this interview.
No, he's going to cuss you out tonight. 100%.
I feel like he's got to, right? Because I mean, it's been both Watkins Glen races. We only did 1 top split that he was in last week, and he was 3rd place there. So it's 3 straight third place finishes for Nicholas Roman, and it's looking like he's going to make it 4 as they're fighting behind him for 4th. Boland's able to take it back from Hoffman.
Yellow, caution.
The yellow flag is flying as Garrett Baines is coming to take 2 laps to go. Paul Bergoli up against the outside wall. Diego fill in the blank Morez up in the wall with him.
Bergoli's spinning. Let's see what happened here. See Morez right there with the 15 machine.
To be fair, he just got turned.
15 just flat out dumped him.
Oh, man. He absolutely just 15. He got wrecked. Thomas Delcourt absolutely just wrecked Morez. I don't think that was intentional. He was going for the side draft before the corner, but if you make contact to that part of the car like that going into the corner, you're wrecking them 100 times out of 100.
We're under caution. Why don't we see what our in-race reporter has to say before I say something that gets us in trouble?
That's a good idea. We're going to pull up our in-race reporter, who still has a set of tires. So you got damage, Mr. Levine. Are you going to come down, take those tires, and fix that damage up and try to give a little 2-lap dash? No, you're not. You're staying out on the racetrack.
No, I broke it. The car snapped, and I destroyed the right front, so we're just going to limp it home, and wherever I place, I place.
Probably fair enough, right? We only have the one green-white checkered in the A Open. If you don't have the car that can get through the field even with the new tires, probably best to just hang on to the spot. Can you run us through exactly what happened coming off of turn number 2 that caused the damage?
There's no feeling in the wheel. I'm not using my regular wheel. It burnt out on me, so we're back to a Logitech, and there's just no warning when the tires are sliding. Like with my sim cube, I can feel when the tires are chattering, and this one, it just feels like I have force feedback, and then somebody turned the off switch, and I just right hooked it because 1 second I'm fighting the wheel, next minute it's a toy.
Oh God, it's like the feedback just goes out in the middle of the corner for you. So definitely a little bit of a struggle to work with tonight, having to get used to a new wheel and whatnot. So what are your expectations for this restart? Do you think we even get out of turn number 2 without a wreck?
No way. We go into turn 1, and I think somebody pulls it 3 wide, whether they got fresh tires from the back or it happens in the front. But somebody's wrecking coming at it 2 or middle of the back. Everybody's way too aggressive to give room, especially with knowing that it's a green-white checkered. It's going to end the race.
So I gotta point out, Sheldon jinxed you. We were talking about everybody he's been talking good about ends up wrecking, and he said you were the best.
Best GridVision driver in the field.
And then you wrecked the lap after. So
shut the hell up.
So Justin, I got a question for you here. So you said the wheel has issues. How's that brake pedal looking? Are we gonna be using that here?
No way. Even if there's somebody wrecking in front, we're gonna send them to the
full
booth.
send.
It's wide open, long as I don't hit the wall. The only time I'm lifting is to not hit the wall.
Well, when you do it, you can blame me.
I got permission.
Well, it looks like we're about to go back racing. We got about half a lap until the green flag flies. So, Justin, thank you for coming up and talking to us once again, but we'll move you back down so that you can focus up for this restart.
Anytime. Thanks.
All right. That was your in-race reporter, Justin Levine, running the 10th place position currently with a broken race car. So, we're going to have to wait and see how he fares on this restart. We're going to have to wait and see how everybody that came down and took tires fares as well. Remember, if that caution flag comes out, the race is over, and it doesn't matter. Oh, well, we might get a lap added on with Delcourt stopped on the bottom of the racetrack. Not yet, though.
That's a new one.
Either way, we're coming up to take 2 laps to go. The one and only green-white checkered of the A Open here tonight. Garrett Maines, Jimmy Mullis, Nicholas, Roman, Graham Bolin. They line up the front 2 rows. Who's it gonna be? Garrett Maines back to the gas with a huge shot from his teammate. And that inside line is pushing really, really well. They're gonna get a great restart over the outside groove. What can Bolin do? Oh, they're wrecking already. Roman gets turned, coming down to turn number 1. Mullis back down across the field. Oh, multiple drivers involved coming down to turn number 1. Huge accident for Roman. Mr. 3rd place, no more. More like Mr. 30th place after that one.
All right, that is every car I said something good about right there. I'm not talking.
It was just about every car. It was just about every car, period. Well, that caution is going to do it as Garrett Maines takes the white flag under yellow. He's going to come up to the iRacing pace car as we take a quick little replay. See exactly what happened between Roman and Mullis coming down into turn number 1. Mullis is holding them tight. Roman drifts up the racetrack, and Mullis was holding him so tight that he just couldn't drift up the racetrack.
It's such a rough place to be, man. If we hadn't had that caution a couple laps ago, this thing would have gone scot-free. Might have seen a little bit of a battle, but everybody would have finished where they belong. But we wreck in the back of the pack, not paying attention, and here we are. Guys that work their butts off up at the front are getting, shafted. It's my favorite.
Always a tough break whenever you're just coming up to speed and the wreck happens, but I definitely feel for everybody involved in that one. Mullis has a good day gone bad, and he was just holding his line. Roman has a good day gone bad. I know he came across the racetrack, so you got to put that more on Roman, I suppose. So tough ending to the night for him, but not a tough ending to the night for Garrett Maines, who's going to come through and win yet again for the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split, this time at Kansas. Great showing from Garrett. Didn't look like he was going to be the winner about lap 30, lap 50, lap 60. Didn't necessarily look like the absolute fastest car out there, but as soon as they put on that last set of tires, he was clearly the quickest guy at the end.
I'll tell you what, man, it doesn't matter if Maines has the fastest car or the worst car in the field. He somehow will always find his way up to the front. Dude does not know how to give up.
As Garrett Maines comes around to do his victory celebrations, we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the A Open. It's going to be a little abbreviated one. Whenever we come back, we're going to try to get interviews with our top 3. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We have just finished up the A Open race from the Kansas Speedway. Garrett Maines going to bring home the checkered flag. Clayton Hoffman, what a race from Clayton, up in second. Joseph Squared in third. Patrick Gitter fourth. Joseph Gulata in fifth. James Houghton sixth. Matt Baker seventh. Justin Levine in eighth. Adam Benefield ninth. Shane Parish in 10th.
In 11th place, you got Ross Sarava, followed by Jacob Schneider in 12th. 13th is going to be Guillermo Bianchini, followed by Matt DiCiani in 14th. 15th, we didn't talk about him all night, but he was there. Tommy Gossett, followed by Jimmy Mullins in 16th after a heartbreaking wreck at the end. 17th is going to be Devin Medeiros, followed by Randy Mullins, PB Henry, and Derek Heitman. Round out your top 20.
21st is Anthony Federico, with 22nd being Johnny Baldridge. Diego Morez in 23rd. Roger Pierce 24th. Nicholas Froman in 25th, with Brandon Meal in 26th. Thomas Delcourt 27th. Graham Bolin in 28th. Paul Bergoli 29th. And Johan Seminario rounds out the 30-car field here tonight from the Kansas Speedway. And it looks like we've got 2 of our top 3 finishers. So, Sheldon, how about you go ahead and interview our 3rd place finisher of Joseph Squared?
Joseph, man, ran you definitely got the term teammate down perfect tonight, because it felt like every time we looked up, you were pushing one of your buddies by somebody else. Nice quiet night out of you too, especially when we had a whole bunch of chaos. How you feeling after a top 3 finish?
Yeah, I mean, 3rd is solid. You know, obviously I want to get the win, but like it was a solid race. I was just like trying to like chill out the entire race and like save tires throughout the run. Yeah, I felt pretty good there, but I crossed the seam one too many times the last run, got really loose at the end there. So I didn't really have anything. I was just like stuck 4th or 5th there, but you know, overall like I was still competitive, so pretty happy with the car and everything today.
Well, man, we've seen a lot of speed out of you this year, and you know, a lot of good positions you've been in that, you know, haven't necessarily panned out. But here, you know, the last handful of weeks, it really feels like we're going to talk to you almost a weekly basis. What's the big secret been to like actually finishing these races out where you probably belong?
Well, if I'm being honest, I used to like save way too much, where like I just like hand everything in, like just straight save only. I mean, it would be rewarded like when we have the late race yellows. I mean, when we have really, really long runs, I'd be like the fastest car on track, but normally we don't get that far, so I switched my style up a little bit, where I still save a bit, but still like try and keep pace at the front, and it seems to, keeping the track position seems to be rewarding recently.
Man, you're looking pretty good. Who do you want to thank for contributing to this top 3 finish tonight?
I mean, yeah, shout out to everyone here that helped me, my teammates, Roman, Garrett, Jacob, everyone that put together works. I mean, I actually put in work today this week, you know, so I pat on pat myself on the back. I tested. So yeah, shout out you guys in the broadcast. I like going back and watching the race. So thank you for putting these on.
Hey man, thank you, and good stuff putting that momentum forward and diversifying and make yourself a better driver. Keep at it. Hoping to talk to you again on Friday.
Thank you.
We appreciate we appreciate the kind words, Joseph. And that was your third place finisher of Joseph Squared. Big congratulations to him on the great run tonight. Looking forward to seeing if his change-ups there in the driving style contribute to more success in the future. You kind of have to run that way in the next gen car. You kind of got to go anti-tire saving mode sometimes. It's definitely hurt the tire savers a little bit, the changing car. But either way, we're going to move to our next interview. It's going to be our race winner of Garrett Maines. I sound like a broken record. I think I say that anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week at this point. Garrett, this was not as straightforward of a race win as we typically see from you, right? Like last week at Bristol, you were just dominant in both the A Open and the B Open on Monday night. Watkins Glen, you fought Sean, but you were clearly a little quicker than him the whole race in the dirty air. Tonight, we couldn't quite tell until about lap 80 or so exactly who the fastest car was, but I think at the end that you kind of proved that it was yourself, even though we were thinking it might have been Graham there at the end. So what was your strategy going into tonight? Just seemed like a very different style of race than we typically see.
Yeah, I mean, the strategy kind of fell a weird way, and I didn't want to be on like the shorter end of the list. So I was like, well, if these guys are gonna stay out and just go hard, banking on a caution, they might get it, they might not. And I figured, 5 cars, I could pass 5 cars. I'd prefer not have to pass 15, so, or more, whatever the field size was, and I just figured it'd be better to be on the strategy banking on the green flag, and if not, an achievable amount of cars to pass, and just kind of it continued to cycle with people that had fresher tires or were not going easy on the start of the run and just wanted to blow their stuff off in the first 10 laps, and you kind of just had to sit back, look at what everybody was wanting to do, and make a decision on how hard you wanted to go. And that last run just made it so much more straightforward. I was able to kind of just decide to go, get to the lead, and try my best to just hold on to it. Made a huge difference, obviously. And there at the end, I didn't even realize Jimmy was in the race. I actually came over and was like, since when is he in the race? And he was flying. Once he got to the outside, I really had to pick up the pace and give it what I had. And after battling with Galata, I didn't know what I had, so he kept me honest. I thought it was going to be a little closer there at the end, but of course the caution, like clockwork, makes this an interesting call coming to a green-white checkered, but it worked out for us tonight, thankfully.
Hey, Garrett, it was a great race from you here tonight. You made it count whenever it mattered most at the end over the course of the last couple restarts, which was really chaotic, the second to last one. But would you like to go ahead and thank Scott from NCU Body?
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. I was like, hey, do you think you can name them off tonight?
Not all of them. I've got that one. That one's quick and easy. You always lead off with him, so that one's pretty easy. I got to get the rest of it memorized.
I feel like you probably do know third on the list, but I got to thank Linux as well, and also shout out to the guys at Ryco. Once again, phenomenal car. How many times do I say that? I feel like that one you definitely know.
That one I've heard a handful of times for sure.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, big thank you to everybody that supports me, and also gotta give a huge shout out to Left Court Brothers and FGRXL for their support.
All right, I'm gonna have all 5 of those memorized next time you want to race. I can guarantee it. I will do your entire rundown for you.
Okay, Tim 4.
All right, Garrett. Thank you for coming up and talking to us here again tonight, bud. And congratulations on winning.
Thank you.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, Garrett Maines. Tonight in the A Open, we're going to take a very, very tiny break. It's already 10 o'clock on the East Coast, so the B Open's getting ready to start. So we'll catch you back here in about 3 minutes whenever we have the B Open, live from Kansas. Welcome into the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We've got the B Open. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire. If you haven't figured it out, we have completely lost our minds in between races. And thank God we're muted we're muted in between races because we would have gotten canceled so quick or something. I don't know. But either way, we got the B Open coming at you live from Kansas Speedway, and we're going to try to forget about all of our P mishaps. We're gonna get straight to our broadcaster picks. We might or might not explain that later. But up first, myself, we got 2 in the pink, 1 in the dink. I think he's gonna be up on the pole and up in victory lane at the end of the night.
Oh, pretty easy pick for you there, Mr. Austin Pissstorm. But I got to go with Velasquez tonight, man. He's been really good, pretty much all season. I feel like tonight might be the night he's able to get it done. And
Austin Derbyshire is going with the calamine lotion car that won back in at Darlington. Connor Euroshak. Oh my goodness! And currently Euroshak is up on the pole, so looking like a good pick for Darby. And it looks like qualifying has just ended. So Connor Euroshak up on the pole, 0.5 of a second over Garrett Maines, who is walking out of the A Open with a victory just a couple moments ago. Charles Velasquez Jr. in 3rd, Brandon Schmidt lining up in 4th, Trent Dinkle in 5th. Scott Lamp lining up in 6th, Eddie Rose 7th, Zach Kerr in 8th, Daryl Hahn in 9th, and Robert Warrens rounds out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Clinton Engel, followed by John Williams in 12th. 13th is going to be Mitch Dromanowski with Chris Frost in 14th. 15th is going to be Ricky Udding with Nolan Hodgson's in 16th. The first car to not take a lap will be Sebastian Marin in 17th. He's going to be fast, I can tell you that. Followed by Cameron Sutton in 18th. Sarton in 18th. With Jarrett Mogard in 19th, and running at your top 20 is going to be John Dart.
21st is Travis Dart with Dylan Murcott in 22nd, Nate Nicholson in 23rd, Blake Cannon in 24th, and Ryan Philbrick in 25th. And that's going to round out the 25-car field. So a little bit smaller than the A Open. Saw 30 cars in the A Open, 25 in the B. So maybe, just maybe, we'll have a few less incidents, especially, with 2 laps to go in the race for 20th.
You're going to see a lot more separation here, that's for sure. But as far as caution count goes, I couldn't quite tell you, man. These things get dead loose here at Kansas. The lack of downforce, the power. We talk about how the B car is the better car. And this is one of those tracks that really proves it, because as a driver, you really have to fight to be able to get around here with some kind of pace.
Yeah, but Kansas is a notoriously difficult racetrack to get yellows to come out once you get spread out, right? We see it coming off of turn number 2 all the time. If you spin down to that inside wall, you're probably not gonna get the caution flag to fly unless you bounce it off of the inside wall and intentionally drive it back across the racetrack like we saw in the A Open. So
we see that every time somebody spins anyway, so it's par for the course. They're gonna send it right back there.
That's a fair point. I'll give you that. Maybe we need the serial protester in here for that. That's what he should be serially protesting.
Man. I feel like if the serial protester got involved with anything related to GridVision, we'd probably have to close the doors immediately after. We'd get.
Oh man! Keep the serial protester away, please.
Just don't say it 3 times.
Oh no! I'm gonna go look into my mirror and say it. If I see his Twitter picture pop up, I'm gonna be freaking out. It'd be the second worst thing to happen in my bathroom in the last 10 minutes.
Wait, why are you in the bathroom, brother?
I said in the mirror. I ain't got a mirror in my room. Some people are freaky like that and put it on the ceiling, but
If I had your face, I'd be avoiding mirrors at all cases too. So.
There's a reason why I have a kid, or you have a kid and I don't.
Yeah, some strong Alabama genetics kicking in with you, brother.
Really strong, really strong.
We're in trouble.
Not yet. We will be by the end of this. But either way, Connor Euroshak up in the race lead. Won the pole over Garrett Maines. Green flag is flying. And thank God we're racing in Kansas for the B Open.
Nice clean start so far. Calamine Lotion Machine with just a little bit of an advantage over the 19 of Velasquez with Garrett Maines stuck up on the outside. Bottom line's going to get the pole here, though, on the initial start. As you see the Ford duck up right there in front of Maines, get a huge shot down the back straightaway.
Schmidt caught the wall coming out of turn number 2. These things you don't want to hit the wall too often, right? The A car can take a good beating. The B car, though, you don't want to hit that too much. Garrett Main's ripping the outside, getting some momentum on the race leader, and he's going to duck down to the inside of Euroshack, down the front straightaway, trying to take the lead at the line. He didn't have it there by 7,000ths of a second, but he's got it down into turn number 1 with Euroshack driving it in deep on the outside, trying to get the lead right back. Can Main slide him out of the corner? No, he can't. Still side by side down the back. Oh, wrecking further back.
Launch on the back straightaway, but got to wreck further back in the field.
Somebody spun it down. Who is that?
5 machine, Daryl Hahn. Heavy damage to the right rear.
It was that Kerr, actually. The 13 in sim 12 on your screen was the one goes spinning down to the inside wall. He does have some right front fender damage. But early on, Euroshack back to the race lead after that move down the back straightaway.
I tell you, Daryl Hahn's folded that right rear pretty bad too, and we're about to see where that came from.
Hey, we got Aaron Langford in the chat. What's up, Aaron? I met Aaron at Bristol. That was cool, and he's actually coming along on the GridVision train. So we appreciate you being in here, Aaron.
That was a huge slide and just looked like a lot of net code mixed in with it.
Always cool to see people you meet at the racetrack. Come and check you out on YouTube here at GridVision. So big thank you, Aaron. It was fun watching Bristol with you, except for the race not being fun. But other than that, it was great. Either way, we got a pretty good race going on so far with Euroshack up in the race lead, working lap number 4. Garrett Main's in second. Charles Velasquez Jr. in the 3rd place spot. Brandon Schmidt still in 4th after that little bit of wall contact that we saw exiting turn number 2 on the first lap. Doesn't seem to have any damage on that thing.
Yeah, you want to avoid hitting the wall at all costs in these things, but if you manage to hit it and you hit it square enough, it's not going to really do a whole lot of damage. Everything will be fine. Just settle in, run some laps, make sure you don't overheat those tires. Trent Dingle right now running P5 in the 5 machine, technically. Everybody kind of single filed out right now. They're pretty tame for the most part throughout the field at the moment.
But that's, typically par for the course for the Xfinity race, right? And typically par for the course of most Kansas races. You expect long green flag runs. So at the beginning of the initial start of the race is typically where you see the most tire saving. The other restarts, you start seeing some other people do some crazy stuff trying to get up towards the front of the field. But especially early on at Kansas, you like to see a lot of tire saving. That's what these guys like to do. Make sure that they got the longevity in this thing. Make sure that this car can make it 45, 50 laps before they come down and take their one and only what would be green flag pit stop if it runs green all the way through.
Also, kind of heartbreaking news. Zach Kerr got sent down pit road with required repairs. He's coming back on track now with a pretty torn up Nexus eSports machine, but there's not much fixing that. He's going to be at a huge disadvantage throughout the rest of this race, being so many laps down.
Yeah, he's going 4 laps down. Currently, the leader's just flying around his outside, and he's still got that right front damage. So it's going to be a night to forget for Zach Kerr. Unfortunately for him, all the way at the back of the pack, he's just going to have to hope for some carnage in order to pick up some spots a little bit later. But we got a side-by-side battle right behind Trent Dinkel. That's going to be Scott Lamp and Eddie Rose going at it. Sorry, that's a little bit further back, isn't it? It's Mitch Drunowski looking to the inside of Robert Warrens. My apologies.
Warren's up there on the top line, but you're seeing right now everything's a little more equal than it was with the Cup car just a little bit ago. See Mitch going to get a good pull coming in at turn number 3. Not able to do anything, though. Warren's doing a really good job pinching him down, making sure to take as much of his line as he possibly can. Keep him from sliding up and get a good launch out of the corner.
Warren's making it as difficult as possible for Drunowski through 3 and 4, and again through 1 and 2. Tried to hold him lower, but through turn 1, Drunowski could just drive it in a whole heck of a lot deeper on the bottom side of the racetrack. Easily got the move done. Going to move Warrens back to 12th. Drunowski up to 11th as we come down the back straightaway.
And to be able to pass that fast on the inside line against somebody that has a fast piece up on the outside just means it really boosts the confidence levels, especially here at Kansas, because you know how hard it is to actually be able to get the job done on the bottom. Just a handful of corners there, and he was able to get past Warrens and move himself forward. Good looks. Keep an eye on that 7 machine tonight.
And you see how important it is to keep the top side of the racetrack, right? Garrett Main's down the front straightaway. Velasquez behind him had the run coming down the front straightaway. And looked to the outside of Garrett Main's, and Main's immediately turned hard right down the front stretch and blocked the run in the early going, right? Only lap number 9, or we started lap 10 whenever he did that. So it just seems to be integral to keep that outside line. So much easier to save your tires if you're side by side. If you're single file, you probably want to run the bottom. But side by side, top side's going to be a little bit better just because you don't get pinched off coming out of the corner.
Yeah, and if you get stuck on the bottom, somebody trying to pass or hold somebody off, man, it feels like you get like 2 or 3 corners before it just feels like the front tires just completely got deleted from the car. And for the rest of the run, you're just fighting a terrible tight condition. It feels like, I don't know if it's psychological and I'm a nut or if it's just, the way it is, but it's what I've always found.
Well, you're definitely a nut.
Well, yeah, no kidding. Piston.
Side by side for 6. Scott Lamp around the outside. Or sorry. So the Lamp went around the outside. Now he's looking down to the inside of Trent Dinkle for the top 5. Top 6 actually running exactly where they started. The first mover is Sebastian Marin. Started back in the 17th place position, running up in 7th, and now looking to the inside of Lamp for 6.
Cool.
Out of for the lead, Garrett Maines to the outside of Euroshack, down into turn 1, coming out of 2. It looks like he's got the run, and he's got the move done on Euroshack.
Euroshack going to lose 2 spots. Velasquez going to take the top line right behind Garrett Maines. Euroshack fighting back hard on the bottom, but not going to be able to make it connect. Velasquez is going to move up to P2. Euroshack dropped back to P3.
And I got to be honest, Velasquez has looked ridiculously quick in the first 13 laps of this thing. I mean, he's put the pressure to Garrett Maines and honestly made Maines run a little bit quicker than I think he wanted to in the early going to protect that second place spot. Now Velasquez is looking to the inside, but it's just not going to be enough momentum for him to get that spot.
Well, I really think that Velasquez, if he can put the whole deal together, I feel like he's a comparable level of talent to Dinkle. Because you see those two running very similar positions just about every week. Velasquez has just a little bit worse luck, but you see him right now taking a dive to the bottom on the inside of Garrett Maines here on the front straightaway, all the way down to the apron. And he's going to have him cleared before they get into turn 1.
Carlos Velasquez with a power move around Garrett Maines to the inside on the front straightaway, down to the bottom of turn number 1. Easily clears the A-Open winner, but Maines is going to cut him back on the exit. He's got the momentum coming down into turn number 3. Can he make the bottom side work himself?
Not quite. Velasquez going to hold on pretty strong up there. Just barely, though. Maines is going to get the power. Here comes Velasquez back to the bottom.
Wow, Velasquez, what a move. And Maines is dropping positions like crazy. He got too tight out of turn 4.
And here comes Euroshack back to the lead.
Oh, these guys are swapping the lead like crazy up in the front. Euroshack back to the lead, back to the top side of the racetrack. Velasquez trying to get it back as Trent Dinkle's trying to take third from his teammate.
No. Velasquez under fire right now from the 20 machine. Brandon Schmidt. Schmidt down to the bottom, running on the paint.
Oh!
Slide job, close!
Holy cow, how did he not just destroy the fence? It did destroy his run, though. Velasquez back down to the inside. And after Maines slid Velasquez in for the lap before, his teammate does it to him that time.
Oh my God, the fact that we didn't just see all 3 of the Conti cars just wad up right there in 3 and 4 was a miracle all its own.
Amazing what happens whenever we have a car that doesn't have a tire the width of a planet. It's insane. You can actually just throw the car in there, slide it, still somehow not hit the wall. Amazing. Amazing what happens whenever you put an oval race car onto an oval.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy, you know.
It's almost like this is how it's supposed to be.
It's almost like GT3 cars belong on, road courses. And
Well, what's funny is the daggum thing sucks at road courses.
Oh, it's good at road courses. It's too damn good. That's why nothing happens.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, Velasquez into the fence in 3 and 4. That's going to open up the door for Schmidt.
And while the Conti cars haven't taken each other out, they've definitely taken each other out of the running for the lead right now in the early going. Putting Garrett Maines back in the middle. Maines takes 1 spot away. Now looking to the outside of Velasquez for another.
These guys just don't want to stop back here.
Euroshack's loving it, man.
Right now, the one that I got circled. 6th place, you got Marin. He cut through a lot of traffic, get up to the front. You know he's got pace. You know Nexus never really misses it when it comes to pacing their machines. He's sitting here right now, 6th place, battling for 5th with Velasquez. I know he's been saving tire while these guys have been here, throwing slide jobs on each other lap after lap.
How pissed off are you if you're Charles Velasquez, right? You did everything right to get the race lead. You get slid once and had to check up, had to slow up your momentum. And now you're running back in 6th, really at no fault of your own.
The steering wheel has new dents in it. And they were not from the factory.
I imagine he'd be a little frustrated. I would be too, especially in the early going. You can understand Mains a little bit because you're not teammates. Still maybe a little aggressive for Mains, but is going for the lead. But then his teammate got him the very next lap for second and just about pounded the fence down himself and made Velasquez check up huge. You just got to be thinking Charles is like, what in the world is going on? Do I have a slide job me bumper or sticker on the back of my bumper? Because that's what he's got to feel like he has.
Oh, Schmidt's going to stuff into the fence coming out of 4. Mains to the bottom. Are they going to touch just a little bit?
God bless.
And here comes Marin.
Dude, Marin from 17th up to 3rd in the blink of an eye. It's been 22 laps,
Down
and
to
now he's
second.
challenging for 2nd.
On the inside of Mains. Mains going to fight back strong on the outside. Marin going to dice it up just a little bit. Going to fall back in line behind him. Did not have the run. Wasn't able to connect it there through the corners and get by him. Getting to that point on the run now, too, where that bottom line is just about dead. And that outside line is where you're really going to be. So now the window of opportunity for passing is really kind of shutting in your face.
The battle for 2nd has been absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, that has let Euroshack just completely disappear off into the sunset.
Somebody hand me the Calamine.
Gonna lather
There we
up.
go. Damn right. Battling again. 23 machine down on the inside of Mains once more here in 3 and 4. Not going to be able to make it work, though. Mains giving it everything he got. Scraping the fence coming down the straightaway.
These guys just can't get away from each other. I almost feel like I'm watching a next-gen race with how compact it is from 2nd to 7th. I mean, it's just ridiculous. 2nd to 8th. Scott Lamp in here as well. Eddie Rose back in 7th and 8th. Trent Dinkel in 6th. Brandon Schmidt 5th. Velasquez somehow got back up to 4th. After I figured he must have killed his tires after getting, checked up so heavy and in those battles. But Velasquez has done a great job getting himself back up to the 4th. And honestly, hasn't let Mains or Marin get away.
Tell you what, Marin, he's circled on that list right now, but 2, another guy that I think's been making the right moves. You see Trent Dinkel, he's been up to the top side, saving his stuff the best he can this entire run. Haven't seen him throw any crazy moves. I'm wondering if he's just saving a little bit in the tank to make a huge charge a little bit later on once these guys have worn themselves down.
As the battle for 2nd continues to heat up, or continues to, I guess it hasn't really heated up. It's been consistent at 900 degrees Fahrenheit since the drop of the green flag. But I neglected to give, the due diligence done to our presenting sponsor in the A Open. So, need to give a big shout out to Ryco Performance, because at Ryco Performance, we're more than a setup shop. We are a performance provider, preparing you weekly with data and setups to get you ahead of the curve of the competition. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or a weekend warrior, our cutting-edge data packs and one-on-one coaching sessions are tailor-made to push the limits of yourself and your virtual race car, giving you the winning edge that you crave. Why should you choose Ryco? We have expert craftsmanship by a team of seasoned builders, cutting-edge performance enhancements tailored to your vehicle, and unrivaled coaching and reliability to handle the most demanding circuits on the iRacing platform. For more information, visit us at ryco-motorsports.com, where we build champions and deliver results. Big thank you to Ryco Performance for sponsoring the Ryco Performance Monday night top split, week in, week out, letting us bring these 2 fantastic races to you week in and week out. And, well, whenever you're at a racetrack like Kansas, they're both going to be fantastic.
Such a wonderful facility. I think I see you guys trying to pull a little bit of tire cooling strategy a little bit further in the back, too. I think the past, 3 or 4 laps, there's been somebody dipping their tires down in the grass all the way through the front straightaway. Not sure who that is. Not gonna
Well,
throw
the
any
serial
shade,
protester's not here, so they'll be okay.
I don't throw any shade, but hey, I know that strategy. That used to be money in the trucks every time we go to Vegas.
Started to spread out here behind 3rd place. So we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the racing action. When we come back, we've got green flag pit stops on the other side.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We got the B Open racing around Kansas Speedway currently, and Euroshack is putting everybody else to shame currently. Up just about 3 seconds on Garrett Maines, who's still in that tight second place battle with Sebastian Marin, who is, flown all the way up from the 17th place position. Now just kind of his progress has been halted behind Maines here, stuck on the outside of the racetrack. As the tires wear, it becomes even harder to pass down on the bottom. So how the heck do you make a move?
Well, there's a couple ways you can do it. Some of them are
frowned upon.
Frowned upon. Some of them are. One of the ways you can, send it down here on the paint, as we're seeing the 23 Marin doing right now, but you're never going to have the momentum to do it, so you're going to get right up there into the door of that one machine. Going to end up having to fall back in line. Try it again in 3 and 4. I mean, at this point, though, it's, it borders insanity.
Maines is loose, though.
The fence.
He he kissed it with the right rear, but it didn't actually completely destroy his run. Able to stay side by side, but if you're side by side entering one, I think you've got a decent opportunity to clear him with the slider. Sebastian down into the corner. Can he get the move done on Maines this time for second? Maines struggling with a loose race car, but that 23 is looking nice and stable on the bottom, trying to slide up on exit. Not quite clear.
Close.
Garrett Maines still with the nose in.
Oh, and that's going to set him back so much here in 3 and 4. Because the tire's already hot.
God, Maines is just about sideways. I love that you can just hang the right rear out on these things, and it just stays there, locked in place. You got to drive it loose. God, I love the Xfinity car.
Such a great car. But while these two are fighting tooth and nail, I mean, we came back, it was a 2.9 second advantage to Euroshack. Now we're at 3.5, 3.6 to second place. The more these guys fight, the more that 4 machine gets to pull away. The more difficult it's going to be for these guys to get back to him at the end of this run. If they even can.
Marin's got to find a way to get to Maines' right rear. It's just impossible to do it, right? You've got to get the run out of 4 and surprise them on the front straightaway. But it's just, how do you surprise somebody running up in the top 3 that's got decent pace, that's already thrown a block on somebody trying to do that, right? Like, how in the world can you possibly get to Maines' right rear?
Oh, huge run out of turn number 2, though. Here comes the 23 machine looking back to the inside as they come into turn 3. Not going to be able to do anything, though. I mean, Maines is just sending it as best as he possibly can up there against the fence.
They're going to be side by side again, coming out. Wow! Wow, that was tight between the two. The 23 almost had him clear. Not going to be, though. But with these guys fighting side by side, you mentioned Euroshack. Well, look at 2 in the pink back there. 1 in the dink is coming up, trying to take second.
Yeah, but right now, the opportunity for Dinko to get second is his best bet. Really, if he doesn't want to scorch off those tires, is to hope that the 23 is able to connect a slide job and slow Maines down enough, as well as himself, that he can get down to the bottom and send it. Which is so hard. It is so hard to pass here. Like, the first 15 laps or so, it is so easy to run around this place and make moves. Man, after about 20 or 30, you can't do anything.
This could be it, though. The 23 had a nose in front coming down into turn number 1. Can he slide him on exit this time? He's got him clear for now. He's going to get the move done. The 23 finally up into second, and Maines is like, if I go low, I'm going to lose third, so I might as well just stay in line for now.
Yep. Maines is going to settle in and push the 23 machine down into turn number 3. Marin looking strong, but, I mean, that advantage, it's a 4-second gap now. to the leader.
Well, our leaderboard, let's see, as iRacing's timing and scoring updates as they came across the line, it's down to 3.3. The 2 car is in pit road, so the first of the pitters. Not quite sure who the 2 actually is. Goodness, the sim stamp numbers. I love them for the paint schemes, but
2 is Marin, the 23.
No.
Oh, well.
The not. Yeah, it's the sim number 2 is Sebastian Marin, but the one came down pit road was definitely not. The only negative about those the custom numbers is the broadcasting. It makes it a little bit more difficult, but nonetheless, first pit stop underway, and we are nearing that halfway point, so you expect a couple more to start coming down pit road. But side by side for third, Trent Dinkle now trying to take the spot from Garrett Maines as well.
And Dinkle's trying to make it so you don't have to read off all of Maines' sponsors here in the interview.
I memorized him on the commercial break for Garrett, and he might not finish on the podium. Come on, Garrett.
Commentator Jinx, you pulled it.
I don't have the Sheldon curse, do I?
I think you did.
Oh, no. I went through all that work.
It has something to do with your shirt. Oh,
that shirt is stained.
With what?
Yellow.
It was all yellow. Either way, we got side-by-side battle. Dinkle to the inside still on Maines. Maines fighting back as hard as he can up on the top. Gonna be dead heat here at the start-finish line, but Dinkle will get a little bit of a pull. He's gonna clear him coming into turn number 1.
Trent Dinkle up into the 3rd place position onto the podium. Great run from Trent in the early going. He didn't quite have that short run speed, but I think he was just saving the tires, making sure that he had something for the end, and it's starting to come alive for the old Dink.
Does this make you does this make you Austin Tinkle?
I think it might. We're going way too far into this inside joke without keying the audience in, and we can't key the audience in, so it's not good. I mean, we've given all the hints possible.
Beautiful day. Beautiful weather. I'm happy we're here at Kansas.
Yep.
That advantage that Euroshack had, though, slowly starting to evaporate a little bit. Marin reeling him down to 3 seconds.
This is surprising to me because he started 17th, right? So it's one thing to go from 17th to 3rd to 2nd, whatever, but you expect the tires to start falling off a little bit at some point or to start hurting. But Marin has made 15 passes and is running faster than our race leader right now. That's a big statement about that Nexus set, man. They are flying.
Oh, dude, it's no secret, man. Nexus has always been, when they don't show up every week. Like, they'll disappear for months. You'll forget they even exist. And then they'll just show up one week when they're at a track they like in the B car, and they're lights out. And it's been like that for, God, years, man. I mean, heck, we got to reap the rewards of that at one point.
Oh, Garrett Maines coming down pit road. Did he looped that thing, didn't he? Or just about. Went out off of turn number 4. I don't even know if he made he hit the pit road cone with the back tires. He may have had a speeding or he definitely could have had a speeding penalty, but he might have gotten a unsafe entrance penalty as well.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Oh yeah, that is really rough. But this is what I was talking about earlier in the A Open with the keys of the race. The pit road here at Kansas is, I mean, I don't know if it's just me, but it is one of the trickiest mile-and-a-half pit roads to get into because the angle, how hard it is to come down up off of the banking, and then once you get to that like seam where the paint and everything meets with the banking and the flat, it feels like there's a wall there that just throws you every time you get down there. Like, I've had races where I've gotten stuck trying to get into pit road.
Trent Dinkle coming down from the second place or from the 3rd place spot now too, and I gotta say,
Dinkle's
doing the same
Dinkle's
thing. What in the world? 2 spins in the pit lane back to back. Garrett Maines and Trent Dinkle, and I think Maines was worse because he's still sitting in the box serving the penalty.
It is such an awkward pit road to get into. Such a weird transition.
He didn't even get to the transition yet.
No, he just got loose coming in, downshifted there in the 3rd, wheel hopped, and such a good job to keep from getting the penalty though.
Yeah, no penalty there. So if a yellow flag flies, he's still going to be running about top 5, top 6 after the entire green flag cycles out. So it could have been a lot worse for the Dink, but Garrett Maines, he is the real big loser out of all of that, right? That spin and speeding penalty cost him a ton of time. He's currently 2 laps off the pace of the race leader. Still need a pit stop from Connor, but I imagine Maines is going to be a little over a lap down after the cycle finishes.
Tell you what, though, this is amazing news for Euroshak and Marin. Oh, Euroshak with a really rough entry. He's going to lose a lot of time to Marin.
Goodness gracious. I didn't expect to see this many problems. I expect problems, but not this many.
I'm wondering at the same time, too, we had a massive change with the B car with this last update. And this is the first track where it's...
Brandon Schmidt. Go back and watch Brandon Schmidt's pit entry on the same lap. Lap 52 for Schmidt. I mean, it's even worse.
We see... What I'm trying to say here is, too, like, we had a massive change with... It's all ride height based. I'm wondering if these guys are dragging when they get on the brakes to slow down to come into pit road like that. And I wonder if they're scraping and it's causing the cars to snap.
Let's watch Schmidt here this time to see if he does any better. But after his pit entry here, we need to try to get a look back a lap in the past. It'll be his lap 52. He completely missed the entry. Oh, he's nervy again coming down that time, but a little bit better. Didn't have to mow the grass like he did the time before.
I'm just wondering because, like, these cars are now sitting lower than they ever really have. And they fixed a lot of the underbody stuff that people were kind of glitching out. I'm wondering if people are just, coming down there and, so to speak, smacking the headers and causing the car to snap on them.
Scott Lamp currently in the race lead. He's 11 laps out of his pit stop. He was the first guy to come down pit road on lap 43. So he used those new tires to his advantage. And while he's definitely split this thing into more even sections, right? Almost 45 laps each way. I just think that the new tires from Euroshak are going to be just gunning him down in about 5 laps.
Not even. I mean, Euroshak's only 2 seconds back right now.
He'll be there extremely quick. Now, you can kind of hang on for a while. I feel like maybe Lamp will keep the lead for 10 to 15, if I'm being really generous. But Euroshak's already running them down pretty quick.
And right behind Euroshak, about a second behind him, you got Marin. That 3-second gap gone now. Down to a second. Marin not having to drive himself through the field on fresh tires. Just within a stone's throw, your potential race leader here in the next couple laps.
I'm liking Marin right now. He's got the car to beat, I think. And now he's got the position to the track position to make it work. It's going to be tough for Euroshak to hang on now.
We'd have one heck of a brawl here. Five-tenths of a second now separating your leader from Euroshak in second. Closing quick, too.
And I definitely overestimated the 10 laps. Holy crap, Euroshak is flying. Already looking to the inside of Lamp for the race lead. 4 laps after his pit stop, he is going to just absolutely blow the doors off of Scott Lamp. I move himself back up into the race lead for now, but like we said, Marin had a fantastic car in that first stint, passing 15 cars, and then only being 3 seconds off the race leader. I'm telling you, if I'm Euroshak, I'm shaking in my boots right now.
I'm wondering if those two might be on the same thing, too, though, right? Because, like, if there's one thing you and I both know about Nexus, there's a lot of guys over there that run blank paint schemes, and I wonder if there's a connection between those two, because they only show up the same weeks, right?
That's a fair point. I don't remember there being multiple Nexus, or I don't remember there being another Nexus car in the Darlington race other than Euroshak if he's a Nexus guy, but I'm not too... obviously, we don't know about...
Marin was in that one, too.
Oh, was he?
Yep, okay. Marin was in it, and I think there was another one. I can't remember, though.
I'm not quite sure about Euroshak, but he's definitely on a quick team, because every time that we get to see him in these B Opens, he's fast. Really fast. But the problem for him right now is Marin looks faster.
Yeah, Marin is absolutely hauling right now. Using every advantage he can find, too, all the way down to the apron on the front straightaway to cut that, half tenth and tenth. A little bit of a scrape against the wall coming into turn 1, though. Not going to slow him down any.
Working lap number 60, the green flag pit stops have cycled through, so we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the racing action before Marin gets there. And if we come back, we might have a battle for the lead. Cutting our commercial break a little bit short here tonight because we got some battling for the race lead. Marin got up there a little bit quicker than I expected. Got up side by side with Euroshack. Couldn't get the move completed down on the inside of the racetrack. But he's getting a little bit further back, cooling off the tires, and I imagine he's going to mount another charge or two.
Yeah, Marin doing such a great job building up a nice arc through the corner, getting that straightaway as long as he possibly can, building a really strong run out of 4 and out of 2. A little bit of side-by-side. This is a couple laps ago. Marin just about was able to get it done, but not quite.
Oh, the yellow
we
has
got a
just
yellow.
flown. Oh, man. Well, that throws this race on its head. Completely flips it upside down. And anybody's guess on what's going to happen now could possibly reign true. I thought this one was pretty straightforward, but somebody has spun somewhere, and we're under the caution flag.
I'm disappointed in you. I hope you know that.
Why?
Not you.
Oh, whoever spun. Understandable.
The 18 machine. High wide against the fence. Mogar
Blake
down there on
Cannon.
the bottom.
Oh.
Just clipped it a little bit.
No, that's not
No, that ain't it.
the yellow was
it's in front of
elsewhere.
him. It's in front of him.
Oh, yeah, it
Okay,
is.
Great car, because there was one parked on the front straightaway.
Who in the world? I can see who it is, but for some reason I'm having a hard time actually getting to him on iRacing. It is Dylan Murcott, way on the outside. Oh. Yep, I'm seeing it for the first time. I'm seeing it currently.
Murcott down here on the bottom, the inside of Warren's.
Just slides
Little
up too
thin
far
on.
with them being 3 wide, to be honest. Well, unfortunate that ended the green flag run, but 3 wide and just getting a little tight on exit and then a little bit of contact. Honestly, the first bit of contact was a little bit of net code that got him loose. But just slid up just ever so slightly too much out of the corner with him being 3 wide. And unfortunately, Murcott's going to go around on that one. Ryan Philbrick with the lucky dog. So Garrett Maines is not going to get back on the lead lap unless he takes the wave here. It looks like he is going to try to do. Yeah, him and Daryl Hahn are going to be taking the wave around on this caution, but they're going to need another yellow to have any type of opportunity with anything as these guys race off a pit road.
You remember that absolute insanity that we saw earlier?
Yes.
Sit on
It's gonna
back.
be
We
even
got
crazier.
at least 15 laps consecutive of it coming up.
You say that. You say 15 consecutive laps of craziness, right? But I could definitely see it being 2 laps of craziness and then a caution, and then 3 laps of craziness and then a caution.
They're a little bit cleaner in here. Sometimes. Really sucks for Marin though, because he was there, man. Garrett Maines getting the lucky dog or getting the wave around here.
Yep.
You jinxed him, man.
I did. I've got his entire sponsor thing memorized for his interview tonight because he's won what 4 in a row that we broadcasted, right? No, both Watkins Glens, the A Opens and the NIS Open. He didn't run the B, and then both Bristol races, and then tonight. So he's sitting on 5 wins in a row. So I was like, oh man, I mean it's just about a sure thing, right? But nope. Euroshak and Marin have. To be fair, it's not like it was just the pit road mistake that's put Maines back here. Euroshak and Marin were a little bit quicker anyway.
Yeah, they both brought absolute rockets tonight, which is why I'm really thinking about the connection between those two. Tell you what, if it is the case, man, Hudson's doing a good job keeping strength in that team all these years after.
Yeah, Euroshak and Marin have been crazy quick. Velasquez was great on the short run, man. Until about lap 30, Velasquez was a dang good challenger. I mean, I thought for sure that he'd be up there. Dinkel now in a guaranteed short run. I think he'll be pushing a little bit harder than he had been. Honestly, anybody in the top 4 could win this race in my mind.
I'll tell you one thing. I was expecting a little bit more from Trent Dinkel this race. Winner of the 8 o'clock B Open tonight. What looked like pretty strong fashion. We haven't really talked about him today, aside from, our typical jokes with his name.
It's a fair point. He did make the pass for 3rd and was running top 3 before the pit road mishap. Gonna have another chance here with the restart here with about 21 laps to go whenever they go across the line. So Dinkel's going to have himself another chance.
About to get crazy here. Look at that. Chrome, pink rims. Darby's favorite color, if I remember correct.
It suits Darby. It suits Darby.
Yeah.
Kind of like his skin tone.
God.
Come back up to the green flag. Euroshak. Back to the gas. Back to the green flag. Marin doesn't let him get clear, though, completely. Now, finally, Euroshak had enough momentum to get there before turn 1. Marin all over the back bumper, looking high, coming down into 1, but that might have been the wrong move. Velasquez gets down under him. Side by side for 2nd.
The bottom line, so much stronger for the first turn. You see Velasquez down on the inside of Marin down the back straightaway. Just about dead even as they come into 3. Velasquez going to send it right down there on the paint, though. Is he going to be able to get up to the lead? Such a good run on the inside there for the 19 machine. Not able to do anything with it right now, though.
Didn't quite get the power down on the exit of turn 4. Still cold tires, though, so a little bit more difficult to make a move. But here comes Marin on the bottom side of Euroshak. Euroshak way to the outside, ripping the fence. Marin just trying to get side by side, exiting the corner. He's there, but he just doesn't have the momentum. Has to fall back in line as Dinkel goes around his teammate for 3rd.
That 4 machine not lifting any at all. We can see it right now as he's defending as hard as he possibly can. Back up to the point right now. Got a little bit of breathing room, but not for long as Marin comes back down the front straightaway, all over the rear bumper. To the inside.
And down to the inside goes Marin again. Tight, entering turn number 1, just about door contact as they come down into the corner. The 23 is looking stout. He's looking for the race lead, and I think he's got it.
He's got it for now, but here comes... Are we going to see the over-under down the back straightaway? Marin does not have the momentum right now, but he's going to go back up to the top here into turn 3. Try to build a run down the front stretch.
Marin has probably been the quickest all night, right? Starting back in 17th, now finally into the race lead for the first time, but Euroshak's not done yet. He's looking for the move back on the inside into turn 1 this time. Side by side through 1 and 2, Euroshak trying to make the same move work that Marin just put on him, but it's not going to be enough. Marin's going to hang on to the lead.
Marin up there against the fence, sending it hard deep into turn number 3. Euroshak's going to try and have another look at it here on the bottom, though. Not going to be able to get to it, though. If you can't get it done in 1 and 2, I doubt there's any chance you're going to be able to make it work in 3 and 4 unless the guy on the outside hits the fence. Marin going to fall back a little bit here. Going to probably take a couple laps of cool his tires and try and make another stab at it before we're done.
The restart has kind of sorted itself out. Marin, Euroshak, Velasquez, Dinkel, Scott Lamp, your top 5 as they run, as they start to single file out, but still some movement further back. Lamp to the inside of Dinkel for 4th. Super tight between the 2 coming down into 3. The 2 all the way down to the bottom, but Velasquez just cuts his nose off in the middle of the corner. A little bit of an air push in the 4th place spot. Scott Lamp about hits the fence. Euroshak just about clobbered it out of turn number 4, but he hangs on as Marin continues to scoot away.
Side by side now, Dinkel having to look to the inside of Lamp through 1 and 2. Huge run on the bottom, not going to be able to clear though. Lamp going to send it back up there on the top. So hard to get the slide job to work. Lamp's going to move back up to P3. Or sorry, P4, and Velasquez having to look to the outside of Euroshak into turn 3.
Coming to 15 to go this time by. Do we stay green or do we have another crazy restart to end this thing side by side for 3rd? Velasquez Jr. is under pressure from Scott Lamp, who has found some speed in the late stages of this one, down to the inside into turn number 1. Looking to slide across the nose on Velasquez on exit. I don't even think it's having to slide across the nose. He's just clearly got that coming out of the corner. Scott Lamp up to 3rd.
I really think the 2 machine made some good adjustments there on the last pit stop because he's come alive here into the late stages of this thing. Velasquez, not quite the pace that we were expecting out of him here on the short run when he was so good earlier as he hits the fence out of turn 4 right in front of Trent Dinkel.
Just about a spinner further back. Somebody's mowing the grass. Can't quite tell who that is, but they just cut it back hard right across the field. And the yellow flag's flying. That's sad. I don't know who it was. Brandon Schmidt.
Like Schmidt.
Oh, man. That was... I'm just going to wait.
There we go. He's 20 machine down the bottom, slides up in front of the 21.
Oh.
Net code contact, unfortunately, and comes down here. Just looks like he Schmidt his pants.
I can't believe you just said that. That was awesome. That was great. Oh, man. But no, I mean, he had that thing cranked so far left and then cranked it back right. I'm not going to go too hard into that because he was so sideways left first.
When you hit the grass at 160 miles an hour,
yeah,
you can do everything you can to put the car in one direction. I can guarantee it's going to end up going entirely different. Here we are looking at the onboard. Gets up there, just a little bit of contact. Whether it actually happened or not, shame. Tries to send it, low. Next thing you know, she snapped back around.
Yeah, I'm not going to harp on that too bad. If you enter the grass super sideways, you're going to stay sideways for pretty long. It's whenever you enter it straight with the wheel straight that you can manage, you can hang on to it. Yeah, that one would have been a little bit harder for Schmidt.
He's got 2 opportunities there.
Ooh, we got some split decisions. Marin down pit road, Euroshak not. Lamp down pit road, Velasquez down pit road, Trent Dinkel not. So the top 2 staying out on the racetrack now.
Who's going to throw 2 tires on the fire is my question.
Somebody's got to, right?
Back to Schmidt's spin too, man. Like, he's got 2 options there. He either, spins it, goes straight into pit road,
and that's a penalty that ruins,
knocks the wall down.
Right.
Or he sends it, the other way, but that's going to pull him back on the track. And I think he did everything he could to try and keep the thing locked into the grass as long as possible, but you put all that wheel in it, it's going to come back out. And we do have a 2-tire fire. The 24 machine of Cannon.
Yep, Blake Cannon decided to take 2 tires. I agree with you. At first, from the first viewing from the leader, looking at the rear chase, I was a little bit more hard on it. But after watching the replay, I'm not gonna harp on Schmidt too much. And you had a really good joke with the Schmidt in his pants, so all is forgiven.
I have those from time to time.
That was a good one, man. That's one of the best ones you've came up with. That was awesome.
I hate it for Schmidt, man, because he's running a pretty good race. But man, when the opportunity arises, that one clicked into the brain, and I was just like, it's got to fire.
Yeah, if you're gonna Schmidt your pants, I guess you better not do it during the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split, right?
Like if I'm gonna get yelled at by somebody, I'll let that one be the one I get yelled at for.
Hang on, we got two in the pink, one in the dink, and Schmidt in your pants now.
I don't think I'll give Schmidt that one all the time though.
Anytime we see Brandon Schmidt wreck, we have to we have to say that now.
Oh man, Brandon Schmidt the bed.
Oh no, I have nothing against Brandon Schmidt. We want to say that right now. Disclaimer: since we do get people upset with us from time to time with certain things, I like Brandon.
I've raced with him a lot on here. And we've never said a word to each other, which is a good sign because normally when I say a word to somebody, it's typically not good. A lot of respect for him.
That's a great point. Oh man.
If I don't have to talk to you when we're racing, we're pretty good, man.
Yeah, you're probably decent. Now I might still be screaming behind my headset, but it's not enough to.
Yeah, well, we all have that.
Somebody.
You know, inner Ryan Blaney.
Oh, dude.
I've gotten better at not pushing the little button.
Same. I just kind of say things to myself and let it go. You just never know whenever the serial protester is going to be watching.
Producer just said yes, so don't press it here.
Oh
well,
no, I
don't have a button here, buddy. This is voice activation.
There is no push to talk. As soon as a really, really bad thought runs through my mind, it just immediately comes flying out of my mouth, and you can't do anything about it.
It doesn't help that we both share a collective brain cell.
I'm telling you, what I wanted to share, what happened in between the races, I had to get talked out of it big time from the producer to not share it. So it takes a lot to make me not say something.
It's all right. We've all but leaked it on here.
I mean, I definitely leaked it. Oh, but it's going to be 9 laps to go on the restart. Euroshak, Dinkel, Blake Cannon. The first two are on old tires. Bunch of old tires. All 4 tires old. Blake Cannon, those left sides are just a little bit old, but he's got good righties. It's going to be tough for him starting down in 3rd, though.
Left sides are Skechers. Right sides are Jordans. It's an old Kurt Busch look.
I feel like it would almost be opposite, though, because I feel like Skechers probably feel better than Jordans to wear, even if they look really stupid.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But...
And it's all about feel in the race car, right? You want it to feel good. Put me some Skechers on the right side.
All right, there, Dr. Feelgood.
Either way, 9 laps to go on the restart. Connor Euroshak, Trent Dinkel up on the front row. The iRacing pace car pulling off down to pit road. What's the right call? No tires, 2 tires, 4 tires. Who's it going to be? Euroshak back to the gas and back to the green flag.
Euroshak with an amazing launch here on what could be the final restart. Trent Dinkel falling back with Martin already on the outside. Oh, contact.
Oh, no, the two gets sent around on the apron. What a crazy save, but they're spinning further back. They're all wrecking at the back of the pack. The caution flag's going to fly again as Cannon was about to take the race lead away from Euroshak. Oh, they were 4 wide entering turn 1, and Velasquez just pinched Lamp too far down onto the apron. Lamp just about went around, saved it, but somebody further back did not.
Man, he'd knock that Lamp right off the table.
Oh, my God. We're going to watch, you're trying, I don't know, that was a good one, too, to be fair. We're watching Lamp here in the number 2, Velasquez on his outside. Dinkel got put in the middle of a 4 wide situation as Velasquez goes way down to the bottom. And here, I don't know if Dinkel knows that they're 4 wide.
This is a situation I could argue that they didn't know they were 4 wide.
On a restart,
a little bit of contact, but there was no room to give. So, man, Lamp did a hell of a job saving it. Oh, no, save it!
Okay, yeah, okay. I thought that was about to be an announcer jinx right there. Oh, no.
That'd be a postpartum announcer jinx at that point. Somebody give kudos to that 2-machine Lamp, though, because that thing should have died.
I don't know how it there. I don't know how in the world that thing still has all 4 fenders on it.
Oh no, Schmidt, no. Oh, such a good race. Just one bad move, and it's been all downhill for that 20 machine.
Who sniffed the Schmidt back there? Who came flying in there and sniffed the Schmidt?
I don't know. It looks like he ate Schmidt there. And a 6. Man, when you see the hood popping up, you know it's over.
Clinton Ingle, not the way that he wanted to go. I think it might have been Clint that came in there. No, he's off the gas early, just has nowhere to go. I mean, he's committed to the outside, and they just keep sliding up. Tough break for Clinton Ingle because he checked up before anybody else did.
And Ingle, man, it's been a tale of 2 seasons for him. First half of the year, you know, good finishes all across the board, top 10s, top 5s, running good pace. Second half of the year, man, it's just like the magic's gone. He's been caught up in pretty much everything you can get caught up in. No fault to his own.
Yeah, he's had absolutely no luck. Well, he's had plenty of luck. It's just all been bad luck, I guess.
Well, for bad luck, we'd have no luck at all.
We're going to go ahead and take a look at our schedule for the week ahead here on GridVision as we got this caution period. Still a couple laps to go here under the yellow, so we might as well get our schedule out of the way so we don't have to do it after the race. Looking up tomorrow night, brand new league that we got running here on GridVision. It's been around for a while, but brand new to GridVision. Me and Brian Britt are going to be on the call, I believe, on that one tomorrow. So me and Brian back in action starting tomorrow night for the Spartan Sim Racing League from Kansas. Going to be fantastic. Cannot wait for that one. 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Thursday night at the Homestead Miami Speedway for the high slide. Thursday night truck series, 8:20 p.m. Eastern, and then Friday night right back here at Kansas for the Ryco Performance. Friday night top split at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that will be the top split. Last week we got the second split for the Bristol full race, right? iRacing takes over the top split duties for those, but next week we're going to be back on the top split call.
Man, you and Brian Britt back in action. That's
We're going to be back like we never left. I guarantee. We're going to come out firing.
Absolute chaos and absolutely no math between the two of you at all.
Whoa. I'm from Alabama, but I got a math minor, buddy. All right. I know how to do 2 + 2.
Proud of you.
I can calculate my fuel.
Oh God, anything's better than Nick's counting.
It's funny that it's the guy from Alabama that's got the good math. That doesn't really make any sense, right? But everybody else on GridVision doesn't know what they're doing.
I didn't even make it all the way through school.
Our producer can add and subtract a little bit.
I didn't make it all the way through school, and I'm out mathing our college boy whiz kid, Nick, when we had him on Thursdays.
Oh, that's scary.
10 laps to go. Nick, it's 20.
Nah.
20 to go.
Man. Nick. Buddy.
It's like working with Bill Weber there for a little bit.
It's been a while since I've gotten to work with Nick, so I haven't been able to roast the ever living hell out of him. But if you're going to give me low hanging fruit like that, I might have to drop something in the GridVision group chat after this.
You ought to do it. Do it. Let her rip.
Put up to 4 laps to go on this restart. Sheldon, do you think it's going to be the last restart?
Look, man, they were 4 wide. You got mixed strategies, mixed tires. I'm expecting a little bit of chaos here at the bare minimum. I wouldn't be surprised if we got another green-white checkered.
Euroshack up in the front on old tires. Cannon on 2. Velasquez Jr. on 4. Trent Dinkle on 2. And then everybody further back has 4, I do believe.
See what Cannon can do here with those 2 tires. He was able to get right to the door of the 4 machine. Coming out of 2.
Oh, man.
A little bit of contact.
Okay. Well, they're having fun before the green flag even flies. And Euroshack back to the gas. Cannon cannot react fast enough. Can he clear? He did clear Velasquez there for the second place spot, so he's going to cover off second. And he's got the tire advantage over Euroshack, so what can Cannon do from second?
Right now, not able to form much of a run. Still doing a good job holding the bottom, though.
Oh, Velasquez! Velasquez hard to the outside wall. Comes down, clips Trent Dinkle. They're all wrecking from 5th place on back. It's the big one at Kansas.
Oh, my God. Oh, missed it. Oh, come on. Oh,
they're all
rough
dead.
Break.
Wow. I don't know if Velasquez got tapped in the right rear or if he just got loose.
I'm not sure how the guy that was a lap behind the wreck got in it, but he did.
Oh, he just got loose. He got the 23 got to his right rear and maybe took the air off of the spoiler, and Velasquez just did not hang on to it, and well, that's a big junkyard coming down the back straightaway.
He got loose. It looked like there was a little bit of contact after he got that initial slide there from the 23. Watch it back here. Dinkle goes for one heck of a ride here.
That might have been more netcode issues. We've been seeing a lot the last couple of weeks, so it might have been a little bit of netcode.
Look at this. Look at this. Dinkle had that little bit of contact, scot-free after that, and just tap from behind.
Little kicker on the right rear, but the first contact from Velasquez, depending on where it hit him, is going to be major.
That could be a toe link.
Oh, that's huge. That's going to be big for Dink.
Mains.
Hood's going flying. Yeah, Mains was involved in there down at the bottom. Hodgson.
That one I don't get.
I don't blame Hodgson for that one either. Like, the one is down on the bottom and then ripped it back around. Like, I feel like the one should have held the brakes more, to be honest with you. Yeah, you don't expect somebody to do that. You saw the rear tires continuing to spin.
Yeah, I had to see a different angle.
You got to lock them down.
I would have basically parked, though, but that's just me. Has a rough break for a lot of good cars. Well, they are saying in the chat how to lock your brakes. In the driver's
it's not too surprising. Chatter. That's a typical occurrence on iRacing.
We always need a refresher. So, I feel like this just about hands the race to Marin here.
Well, I mean, it's just a green-white checkered. You know, can Urashak hold on for 2 laps? I mean, it's possible.
Those older tires, man. We saw the 24 machine of Cannon just about make a move at the drop of the green on that last one on 2 tires.
You're not wrong. I don't know, man. The outside line, Urashak can rip the outside even on the older tires. If he can just stay out there and prevent them from clearing him, he'll have the momentum coming down to the line, and he'll give himself as good of a shot as anybody. It's just, as soon as he gets cleared, there's no chance in hell that he undercuts somebody and is able to make the bottom side work after getting past. No chance.
A lot of tomfoolery on this last restart, though. So the 4 machine take the 18 up the track so as he can force him up there so he can get down there and get that good cut on the apron. Worked out really well in his advantage. Here we see him launch up into turn 1. 18 slowly closing it. This wasn't the restart that I was mainly talking about. It was that last one. There's the wreck. Unfortunately, the one prior to this. That's the words I'm trying to use.
Well, yeah, they were bumper to bumper, front bumper to front bumper as the yellow flag flew. If it took another 2 seconds for the yellow to come out, the time before that, Cannon would have had the race lead, and with 2 tires, it probably would have been over. But now I still think there's a pretty big question mark.
I don't know. I'm looking at that 23 machine of Marin. He's been so fast all race. And I feel like on a short run on fresh tires, he could do a lot of damage here. I'm not saying Urashak's, washed, but he's not in a good place with these tires.
Only be 2 laps to go on the restart, so he's only got to hang on for 2 trips around this place. But to your point, it's not a short distance.
And this is the 3rd place car right here on 2 fresh tires, not 4. I'm still baffled that Lamp was able to keep that thing from getting totaled.
No kidding. But somehow the yellow is not out yet. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. It's not out yet. It's out about now is whenever the yellow finally came out. So you can see as it came down to 3, if it would have gone another 2 seconds, with that drive down to the corner, he would have had him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And there would have been nothing. I don't think there would have been anything that Urashak would have been able to do unless that 18 got loose on those 2 tires. But
we'll have to wait and see. We have 3 green and white checkers on order, or in store for us today, potentially, for the B Open. A little bit more than the A Open. So we'll probably finish this thing under green.
Those extra 2 green-white checkers have been the bane of my existence in this series more often than not.
Well, we're going to have to wait and see. Is it going to be the bane of the existence of Connor Urashak? Can Blake Cannon get this win away from him?
They're playing games again here.
Get a black flag before the green flag. Urashak back to the gas, back to the green flag. Cannon clears for second again. Kind of a squirrely restart further back, but Cannon easily cleared a second. Marin, maybe more importantly, easily clear into 3rd with the 4 fresh tires.
Yeah, I mean, that right there may have just handed this race to Urashak playing those games on the restart, making it difficult for Cannon to figure out where you're going to be. Cannon had to basically run the brakes, but here he comes down to the bottom in turn 3. Yurashak a little loose up there against the wall.
Oh, the 18 really loose, and then throws a huge block on Marin for no reason and gets himself turned. And they both end up wrecking into the outside wall. The white flag's out, though. The yellow flag's not going to come out. That was a terrible, terrible block.
Oh.
Yurashak, though, that might have handed him the win. Somehow Scott Lamp, after the huge save, is up to second.
It looks like this thing's pretty much a done deal. Yurashak leading them down into turn number 3.
Coming out of 4, Connor Yurashak. He's going to do it on the old tires. He's going to win from the Kansas Speedway in the Ryco Performance Monday night top split B Open. What a job on the older tires with a little bit of an assist from a really bad block. A really bad block.
Miserable block. That was a Logano block if I've ever seen one.
Before even watching the replay, I'll tell you, Marin definitely didn't cut him any brakes.
Nope.
But I don't blame him. He just completely chopped his nose off on the front straightaway after completely killing his own run. Well, to be fair, he left him a lane, and then Marin said, screw it, I'm going to turn right. It was still, I got to say, it was still a dumb move. I don't know why you would put him off that big whenever your tires are that killed, or not killed, but, you know, you've lost it that much through the corner, lost that much speed, but he did leave him a lane, and then Marin turned right, so maybe I got to backtrack a little bit, but either way, Yurashak's going to be burning it down again in the Calamine Lotion Machine. Last time I saw this thing, it was doing the same thing at Darlington. But as he burns it down, we're going to take our final little abbreviated commercial break. Whenever we come back, we're going to try to talk to a couple of our top 3 finishers. I'm not sure if they have the Discord, but if they do, we're going to try to talk to them. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We just finished up the B Open. Connor Yurashak with the win. Scott Lamp second. Trent Dinkle rounds out the podium with Travis Dart, Garrett Maines, Robert Warrens, Cameron Sarton, John Williams, Chris Frost, and Ricky Udding rounding out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Dylan Murcott, followed by Sebastian Marin in 12th. 13th is going to be Jared Mogard with John Dart in 14th. 15th is Clinton Ingle with 16th Nolan Hodgson. 17th is going to be Eddie Rose with Blake Cannon, heartbreaking 18th place finish. 19th is going to be Mitch Drumanowski with Daryl Hahn rounding out your top 20.
21st place is Charles Velasquez Jr. with Ryan Philbrick in 22nd, Brandon Schmidt in 23rd, Nate Nicholson 24th, and Zach Kerr in 25th. Got to point out, got a little chat in the chat, calling out Marin for that being intentional. You might not be wrong, but it did look like there might have been a little bit of netcode beforehand on the first come down, but on second watch back of that, I'm kind of leaning towards what you said too. But you know, we see it all the time at the end of the day on iRacing. At this point, I'm honestly just almost immune to the failing of the intentional wrecking. We see it every race now. But either way, crazy finish to this thing. After it was a pretty good race throughout the whole thing. It was nice and green. at the end, it turned into a little bit of a she-show. But one of the guys involved, our third place finisher, the only one that it looks like we're going to be able to get in contact with tonight, maybe the only one with the Discord in the top 3, it's going to be Trent Dinkle. Once again, Trent's just about the only guy that we get to talk to in the B Opens, it feels like, because he finishes up in the top 3 just about every week. Trent, you had a good car today. It just wasn't quite the same speed as Urashak and Marin, but man, you and Velasquez were quick tonight. That first run, I really thought the long run you were going to just continue to push and push and push, but that pit stop kind of went a little bit awry. Can you talk to us a little bit about that first stint and what happened on the green flag stop?
Yeah, I mean, the first stint, I mean, I think I just kind of got a little bit caught up behind the teammates. I was just letting them kind of duke it out, and then I passed them, and Brandon got into the wall, and I had to check up pretty hard, and I think that cost me a little bit. I mean, Connor and Sebastian were definitely faster. I wouldn't say a lot faster, only maybe like a tenth a lap. So I think put a little extra sauce in the setup for the rest of the week and we should be good. Yeah, that first pit stop, I hit the brakes and then it just started spinning, and so I had the wheel cranked all the way to the right, and I just barely touched the gas and it straightened it back out, but with the wheel all the way to the right, it spun and then spun back the other way. And somehow I really only lost like 2.5 seconds. And then, I mean, I figured I was just racing mains at that point, but it seems like he had a worse pit stop than me. So if that would have gone green, it would have been just me and Charles fighting it out for whatever happened at the end of the race. But yeah, and then the end of the race was the end of the race.
I was about to say, the pit stops, you had issues, but it was probably the lightest amount of issues out of anybody that had a problem, because half the field had a problem and all of them were worse than yours.
Yeah.
But at the end, one of the last restarts, y'all were 4 wide coming down into turn number 1. You were the third car from the inside. Did you even know that you were 4 wide going into the corner?
At one point I knew that I went to the top. I don't know, like, I don't mean to be a complainer, but Connor was doing some weird stuff on those restarts, and I think it was catching everybody off guard. Like, we were going 7 mile an hour under the speed limit, but you know, that one where I stayed out on tires, I thought it was a pretty dumb move, but I was like, we're probably gonna wreck all the way to the end, and then I restarted next to him, and that was probably the worst restart of my life. But yeah, I mean, to finish third with how beat up my car was at the end, I'm pretty happy with it.
Trent, congratulations on the third place finish, man. It's always fun getting to talk to you. Seems like just about every other week, if not every week. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to come up and talk to us after this one. Who do you have to thank at the end of it, bud?
Definitely, you know, all of Team Conti, you know, Nick. I think me and him put in quite a bit of work this week. Obviously, he's actually building the stuff, I'm just driving it. You know, big thanks to all the teammates that were in there. It's always fun racing with everybody, and you guys for putting this on.
Well, we thank you, Trent, for, like I said, coming up and talk to us, and thank you for the kind words as well. Looking forward to seeing if maybe you can make it another podium, if not a win, next week whenever we go racing from, oh man, I don't even remember where the heck we're racing at next. Oh, it's Talladega. Yeah, well, that's a little bit of a crapshoot. Good luck with that one.
It is. We'll see.
Oh man, well, good luck. Well, hopefully you can survive the gauntlet.
All right, yeah, thank you.
Alrighty, that was your third place finisher, Trent Dinkle, here tonight, and that is going to be the only interview that we have. Unfortunately, we could not get Scott Lamp or Connor Urashak into the Discord. We need to do a little bit better job of getting the Discord around to more people, to be fair, but we'll get that done, and we'll start getting a little bit more interviews for the B Open here coming forward. Sheldon, what'd you think of the racing tonight, man? I thought we got 2 pretty good ones.
Dude, I freaking love Kansas. I'm same thing I've said the past couple weeks, man. Let's race it. This place is a blast.
If I had any drive to get intentionally turned, I would definitely jump into a race. But, you know, I just don't really want to get intentionally put into the wall. So I think I'm going to have to pass.
I've only intentionally wrecked you like 4 times.
Well, I'm worried about everybody else. Did we not just see what happened at the end of that race? Now, look, I want to point out that was a terrible block thrown by Cannon, and he did end up leaving a lane at the end of the day. But I thought it was dumb, but maybe a little bit of an overreaction, there at the end. But regardless, that's going to do it from us here at GridVision tonight from the Kansas Speedway. We'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Garrett Maines and Connor Urashak on winning tonight's races from the Kansas Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire, our producer. We'll see you next time on The Grid.